and I wish me the best. But I just think I'm missing a voice and skills, I must confess. I'm speaking in English, but I'm just French. I would like to speak better, add a better fine rhyme to my letter on time like a watchmaker. You can lie, you can try, but you'd like to leave this feeling. We got to breathe, to dig, to live the life we are dreaming. It could go wrong, but I'm just a nest. You must be lonely, but you could be crazy if you keep looking down.
Hello, Soto. I used to be a comms director for Michael Hoover for U.S. Senate. I'm here in Michigan, where I'm from. I'm 24. I graduated from Eastern University in Pennsylvania. Dual majored in a degree in political science and business administration, and I'm heavily connected within the political realm of things. So I met Vivek and whatnot. He's a great guy. I think Vivek will have a major role in the admin. Um, People of this great society, and that the people spoke, and the people just were done with the lies of the media and the hypocrisy and just everything. You can't run a campaign on fear, hatred, divisiveness, and vibes. That just doesn't work. You have to run a campaign on actual policy and have actual solutions to answers for the world's problems. Um, so yeah.
Okay, Angelo, thank you. Let's see. Angelo, yeah, thank you, Angelo. I see that I already follow you. Okay, Gatherer is on the other side of the fence. Okay, he's opposed to Trump, I believe, still, and but he's a very polite, very, very polite debater. He's respectful of rules, so be aware that he, in fact, he is the reason why I opened this up, so he and I could talk about this, because I just posted something and he came back and countered it completely, and so I wanted to talk to him and say, hey, why are you countering this? What's your opinion? So just know that that's what Gatherer's stance is going to be. He's Gather. In just a moment, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. I just want to take a look real quick at Nitya. Okay, here, and see what she's about. Just super quickly. Okay. Good. So we'll start with if you could just if you could introduce yourself a little bit, where you come from, and then a short summary of just your perspective, which I know is on the other side of the aisle. That's fine. And then Nitya, after he speaks, then if you could introduce yourself and do the same, kind of introduce yourself and then give your a quick summary of your perspective, and then we'll kind of open it up and have a discussion about it. Gather, you've got the floor.
Yeah, I'm a staunch Democrat from Kentucky. I think Trump is a traitor and a disgrace to the American system, to the American people, and is antithetical to democracy itself. Yeah, I mean, something that Angelo said earlier about, like, hey, you can't run a campaign on fear, divisiveness, and vibes. I would typically agree, but considering that's what Trump just did, and he just won and sweep the House, Senate, now has the majority of the Supreme Court picks, and the presidency, I would say that it's kind of seems like it's not true. So.
Thank you, Gather, for being here. This should be a good discussion. Guys, I'm going to ask for good language here, just because when we have people on different sides feeling so strongly, I just find it runs better if you just keep good language. So anybody who uses bad language, I'm just going to politely just come in and say, you can't use that here for this space right now, just because it'll make it too volatile. I'm not against language, colorful language, but in this situation, I'm going to ask for that just to And I'm asking everybody to stay calm and just I'm going to be very strict on the rules as to who speaks and when. Don't counter each other. Don't talk over each other. Everybody's going to have equal time to share. Nitya, you have the floor.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening. I'm assuming everyone's in the United States. So so good evening, everyone, whichever part of
Yes,
states
I
you're
believe
in.
so.
Yeah. So it's fascinating when when you hear when, what just Gatherer said right now. So the thing is, this is you can keep on repeating, without actually backing up with the facts for that matter. We can talk about the record of the last 4 years, and we can talk about what the Democrats have done, and we can talk about where the party was 2 decades ago and where the party is now. So I campaigned for Obama back in 2012, campaigned really hard in Chicago. I voted him in, and I think if I could go back and change in history, I would go back and change that because I didn't realize the actual wildness and the evil behind what I was supporting, because it was not actually so out in the open. Social media was not there. It was the legacy media that was constantly driving your decisions. So a lot of issues here. It's easy to say, I mean, calling him this entire campaign for the last 107 days that Kamala has run, because before that, there was no campaign run any which ways. I mean, you had an absentee president. It was a headless chicken America, for that matter, for the last few years. But the last 107 days, the campaign that she ran has entirely 100% run on Trump, on basically vilifying him, on basically trying to portray a picture of democracy will be dead, constitution will be finished, and there will be no more elections in this country. It'll be the fascist. The man was there 4 years. He was there. He was in the office. The office still had the same power. The office still was what it is, what it was, what it's going to be. It was, the country was still the most powerful country in the world. He was there. You have a precedent to see. But what were you trying to sell? See, when you really tried to sell this lie and the majority of the country did not buy it, so you're still standing here and saying that the majority of the country, 50, 60% of the country doesn't understand, has no brains, they don't do any homework, they're not, they're not making money, working hard and and earning money, they're not affected by what's happening. Like, what is going on? If the percentage of men voting for Trump shifted 30 points in the last 4 to 5 years, if the percentage of women upped by 10 points, if the Hispanics came and voted for him, you decimated the man. You did everything to him while he was in the office. You leisured took deactivated a sitting president's Twitter account, sitting there. You impeached him as many times as you wanted to. You humiliated him while he was in the office. When he left the office, you still did not leave him.
Nitya, this is
Yes.
just you're speaking, in my opinion, beautifully and correctly, but and others gather, I'm sure, will disagree. But this is just the opening statement where it's kind of short. So just wrap up, and then we'll get
Okay.
into the discussion.
Okay,
Yep.
so my point is that if you accuse him of what it is, then he would have done this before. And you're here, I'm here. Let's see how he kills democracy. Because 2 days ago he was going to be the biggest threat, and yesterday, in the conceding speech, Kamala said everything will be fine. Joe said everything will be fine. So that means they're willingly handing over the country to Hitler, right? So that's what they're doing.
Okay, so I'm going to give my opening statement here, and then we're going to go to Angelo, and then we're going to go back together. Okay, and then guys, this next round, it's going to be even because of the already the volatility and that I'm feeling here. We're only going to do 1 minute for the whole next round. Each person 1 minute, and then after that, we're going to open it up to longer sharing so people can actually dig in and give their position. Because I've debated with Gather, and person is a calm person, and he's going to carefully lay out his reasoning he's a very good logician, even though I believe he's batting for the wrong team and using logic the wrong way. He's going to disagree, and he's very good at using logic to back up his points and counterpoints. So, okay, so with that, I'm going to start my minute, and then I think everybody took a minute, between a minute and two to open. I'm going to take a minute or two, and then we're going to just do 1 minute each real quick, and then we're going to open it up to longer ability to lay out a logical reasoning as to why you believe what you believe. Okay, so for me, here we go with me. I also voted for Barack Obama, Nitya, in 2000, whatever the first time was for him was it 2004, I think.
Eight,
And
eight.
then
First was 2008.
was this first one 8? Yeah, his first one was 8. His second run was 12. Thank you. And and I felt the same way as you. Like I went in there thinking one thing, and then I got something different. Okay, so guys, I think this discussion is going to go a lot better if we just get down and label the other side, and then Gather is going to just get down and say, hey, Trump's doing the same thing. He's doing this. He's name calling. He's doing this. Yeah, you call him Hitler. We if we go back and forth on that argument, I don't think we're going to get anywhere here because Gather, I know Gather. I've argued with him and not argued with him, but debated with him, and he's held to his stance. So I think it's much smarter for us to dig in and just show what's actually comparing, uh, you know, to talk about the topics themselves, compare the policy points of view themselves, and I think we'll get a lot further doing that. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Angelo. Wait a minute, who is Lucifer? Wow, what a name! Let me see what he's about before I let him in. Angelo, just give me just one quick second. I want to see what this guy's up to. Jews were here before Islam. Okay. Lucifer, you are welcome to stay as a listener. I'm not going to bring you up to as a speaker right now, dear brother or sister, whoever you are. So if you're welcome to stay as a listener for now. Okay, Angelo, you're up. 1 minute, please.
Thanks, Jim. No, to look at policy, you look at for uh, uh, blacks and HBCUs. He had the Platinum Plan, and he also had the First Step Act as well under his admin for the first 4 years. He also gave $500 million to HBCUs as well. And as someone who was 24, I was able to afford things. Prices were lower. And also, when Trump left office in 2023, I'm sorry.
2020.
Yes. Thank you. Inflation was at 1.4%, I think. That's correct. Well, 1.4%. And, yeah, I was just able to afford stuff as a young person. And I'm not able to really afford stuff right now. Or when Biden was in office, it made stuff a lot tougher and harder for a young guy like myself. And yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Gather 1 minute, please.
Yeah. There's a ton of shit that just keeps getting said. I don't know if you guys want to gish out the entire time or if you want to focus on specific points. You say that I have no claims to back up what I'm saying about Trump being antithetical to democracy. You also pointed to Kamala and Biden being willing to give a concession speech. I'm just curious. I don't know if you remember offhand or if you can look it up or something. I don't have access to it right now. When did Trump give a concession speech? And then I can end my turn there.
Okay, thank you. Nitya, 1 minute, please.
Okay, that's right. Wait. Anyway, so it's a very good thing to say right now that why they're calling the election very free and fair, free and fair, free and fair. Um, Hello, it was free and fair. You see the amount. You see the amount of the poll watchers, the volunteers. You know the tens of thousands of volunteers that actually did what they did on the ground this time, which did not happen last time. Because the last time, the kind of things that happened in the elections,
Just
it was
opening
not
statements is
expected. So
1 minute.
nobody, the Republican side, did not really actually have that kind of guards up. But that was not expected. So there were questions, and there were absolute videos to see. There was legit proof to see that there was a lot of hanky panky being done there. So this time, and I being one of the poll watchers, but volunteer poll watchers, you do that. You go and see. You want to make sure that there are no unusual affidavit ballots. You're not getting like 30, 40 affidavit ballots every hour there. You're seeing, and these were all volunteers all accomplished people or executives. They took off. They did early the poll watching and early voting. We did that. So there was a reason why you are if it's a free and fair election, you would concede. And I mean, absolutely, we can see, look back and say it was not what happened last time. But anyway, that's kind of a very different story. Going back to why I didn't concede,
She's about to
why the
get
Hunter Biden story was killed
demolished.
just about a couple of weeks ago, and why even I mean, it's there are so many things that happened back at that time. But looking at right now, when they tried to sell this fascist theory, it clearly did not work. We just have to respect the mandate. People did not buy the lies. We got to respect it.
Thank you, Nitya. And then for me, a minute. Okay, I'm gonna just
You're the
start
host.
digging
Why are
in right
you
away. To me,
giving yourself a minute?
the border crossings
Why are we
when
talking about the
Trump
fucking border, dude?
was during his
God.
4 years, it
Border.
was much lower.
Border.
Much lower. That means the deaths from fentanyl were much lower. That means the trafficking women and children was much lower. That means the amount of actual murders, according to the border, not this is just a government statement that said there were, I think, like several 100,000 over the last 3 years criminals that had criminal records were let in unvetted, including 10,900, almost 11,000 murders were let in unvetted. That didn't happen under Trump. So you have a lot more of that happening. And also you have them flying people in. They said between 10 and 20 million. Marco Rubio is a smart guy. He says it's up to 20 million. Some people say conservatively 8 to 10 million were let in over the last 4 years. Now they're actually flying a lot of these into the swing states. In the long run, I think they're playing the long run game of getting voters in, and they've stated that they want to. Adam Schiff just came out. Other people have just come out and say, hey, in the long term, we want to allow these people to become voters. They give them food stamps, they give them programs, and then they're trying to literally, it's obvious, turn it's the same thing that happened in California, where it just turned blue because of the amnesty of Reagan, given the immigrants. They want to do this
How
now
are they
nationwide,
swing?
and so
How are
to
they
me,
putting
that's
them
a
in swing
nefarious
states
plan
long
to do that
term?
and to have
But
people,
they somehow
80,000 people a year die of fentanyl and all
voted
the trafficking and
Trump
stuff like
in.
that. So that's my minute there. I'll go into that late in this next round. Okay, this next round, Angelo, 3 minutes each, and you can, if you want to concede,
How?
give up your time earlier than that, no problem at
Wait, can
all.
I
So
make a
Angelo,
request or
you're up.
something real quick?
Yeah, what's up, sure, Gather. What's up?
Yeah, is there going to be like an open dialogue, or is it going to be continuous like segments?
Okay,
Because
do you
there's
want to
like,
let's open it up. Let's open it up right
yeah,
now
I feel like
instead of
there's
the
going to
three
be more
minutes.
of a discussion because each
Yeah,
time something is
yeah,
said or
I
like
agree. This
pinpointed,
is
then they're kind of
thanks,
shifting to
Gather.
something else, and there's like three, and then I'm like, not to complain that I'm
Yeah,
like by myself or whatever, but it's turn,
no,
my
I
turn,
agree.
turn, turn.
I feel Yeah, I agree because I'm going to concede to what Gathering is saying because he's won me over in his idea. If this is feeling too bulky and we're not really getting our teeth into anything, so let's just have an open thing. But so anybody can come in and butt in with each other. But if you butt in, then it has to be like what Gatherer said. And then if the person who you butt in to agrees, then that's fine. Then you made a good butt in. But if somebody's talking and wants to finish their thought, and somebody butts in and says something, and the person says, "Wait a minute, no, I want to finish my thought," then yeah, we have to allow them to finish their thought. But please be whatever points you make, please be concise. And then so now we're just going to open this up freely right now. So here we go. Anybody can start. I guess
So I
I'll go
guess
ahead and
Gatherer
start.
wanted to, right?
Go ahead,
Because
Nitya.
yeah, no,
You
I
start.
thought
Go
Gatherer
ahead.
wanted to. So that's why he said, right? Gatherer, go ahead, please. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't think. Gather, do you want to start? Sure, absolutely.
yeah, sure.
Go
Because I
ahead.
want to back up the claim because there's an accusation saying that I can't back up the claim for what I would consider to be antithetical to democracy. Um, you, I think you like tacitly acknowledged that there was no concession speech by Trump last election, right?
Right. There was no concession speech. I never remember when he believed to this day, and so do I, that the election was stolen. Therefore, no concession speech. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah, sure. But the election was not stolen. There was no evidence presented whatsoever for that being the case.
Okay,
And
I challenge that, Gather. That's a good place for us to dip into right there. Let's focus in on this topic. So you say there was no evidence for it being stolen. I say there was evidence by when Elon Musk. Now it may not have been what he thought it was that stole it, but there was evidence of it being stolen. And this is it. I give you evidence. Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter, he had this guy. Gosh, I can't remember his name. Matt Taibbi go in and do a deep investigation, and he did. And he opened up the Twitter files. Once he buys the Twitter, he can open up the files. And there was government that came in and did massive, massive media censorship, especially with the Hunter laptop, where 51 ex-CIA agents confirmed that it was Russian disinformation, which was a total lie. And they knew it. Being CIA, they knew that it wasn't. And so that itself, they did a study. That itself, if people would have known that, they did a study and showed that just that alone would have changed the election. So how can
Yeah,
you say there was no
there's a couple
evidence?
of things. There hasn't been any study that has been
Sure.
presented whatsoever to show that that would have swayed the election. And for two, Matt Taibbi, the person that you cite for the Twitter files, has explicitly come out and said that there has been no evidence of any government involvement in the laptop story during the initial reporting of the Twitter files.
So you're saying that Matt Taibbi is saying he's the one who exposed it and said there was. What are you saying now?
He's come out explicitly on the 22nd slide of the Twitter files saying that although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been a
Okay, so I'm
problem.
going to write down. So hold on a second. This is good. So if you guys look down in the replies, I'm going to put that giving factual evidence, giving documented evidence. I'm going to give you documented evidence of showing extensive, because he hasn't seen that. That's fine. That's fair. If he says he hasn't seen evidence, I'm going to give it extensive evidence. Okay, evidence of showing extensive foul play in government controlling media companies, or media outlets, online media outlets, regarding the Hunter laptop. Okay, so we can just Hunter laptop. And so I want to drop this topic, guys, and until we can reconvene again. Once I'm going to give a litany of evidence so that we're just not going back and forth saying there is evidence, no, there's not evidence. And then anybody who wants can go to where I put in. I just put a little reminder here. I just put a little reminder to do it. But after this is over, I'm going to go collect a list of evidence and post that. And because we can talk about that. We can go and talk about whatever we want now. What's up next, guys? Anything else? Or the same topic, it's okay. You can speak without asking anybody. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
but
bring up
Angelo, yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Angela?
Yeah. Go ahead, Nithya.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I was basically wanting to say the same. It's what he's okay. Jim is putting up the evidence. That's fine. But there were videos that people saw. There were these middle of the night ballots come and empty into places, and there are people. I mean, there were so many issues, and of course, yes, he had a Biden story that was completely killed, and which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, James Comey, right, eventually an year and a half afterwards, admitted that he was told to kill that story and not let that story come out. I
Do you
mean,
acknowledge that it was
you
put
can.
back up within 24 hours of it being taken down initially? Like the decision
Sorry.
was, do you acknowledge that the decision was reversed within 24 hours
Which
Which
decision
decision? Which
specifically?
decision was reversed?
to take down the Hunter Biden laptop story on Twitter and Facebook?
So first of all, can you tell me that how do you take down a story when there is a story and it really affects the elections and integrity of the
Well,
candidate in question?
Nitya, he's saying it was put back up the next day. Okay, good.
Within
Don't worry. I'm going to
within
provide
24
evidence
hours.
against what he's saying. But gather, Nitya, can you counter what he's saying? He's saying the very next day they put it back. You're saying that they hid the Hunter laptop story, and then the very next day they allowed everything to
So
come
the thing
back.
is,
So it was
Yes, this
so the
was
thing
this
is,
was
transparent after
Jim.
one
testified
day.
in the congressional
Hold on, hold
hearings.
on. I want to get this answer to Gather, and then we're going to go right back to Nitya. Go ahead,
Okay.
Gather.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this was testified in the congressional hearings or whatever for the Twitter files thing.
Okay, and you're saying regarding the laptop, you're saying somewhere in Twitter or Facebook or somewhere, you're saying Twitter specifically, where something about the laptop was taken down and then it was put back up one day later, correct?
Within 24 hours. I wouldn't even
Within
grant.
24 hours. Okay,
Yep.
Nitya, what else do you want to say there?
Yeah, so I mean, basically two things. One, the minute Elon Musk took over, he fired Parag, he fired Vijaya. I mean, all their entire, part in this conspiracy was absolutely exposed. You think you'll fire somebody like of that, senior management level of the CEO level, and then you would not face any, if you did it without reason, you think you'll actually get away with them not suing you or them not coming after you? Why did they quietly go away? Because they absolutely were accomplices in the entire crime that happened in Twitter when Elon took over and he fired them, and they quietly walked away into oblivion. Otherwise, they would not have done that. That is one thing, that he completely exposed them because he got access to what is happening. Here again, the same thing. You cast a doubt on a story like that. You say from FBI, you want to believe. I'm not a person because of any political lineage that I would discredit the institutions and the authorities in the country. Would not want to do that. So you would like to believe when you're credible, and now I say quote unquote because now there's a question. They come out and say something you like to believe. So when they come out and say it's not true, and then later on you try to reverse it, but you already cast the doubt over that issue. It was an absolutely undoubted situation issue that Hunter Biden was absolutely guilty. When you're looking at the junior members, the children of Biden family receiving money from China, when you see the money trail, how can all these stories be completely killed by the legacy media? They won't talk about it. How can Kamala, for the entire campaign period, for 107 days of her campaign, I want to insist that 107 days of her presidential campaign, not be asked about her Green New Deal, her signature there? How can she be not asked about, every position that she has taken and that she's now kind of trying to run away from? They never questioned her. They never grilled her.
Yeah,
They
we're gish
literally.
galloping at the moment. Like we can go back easily to the Twitter files thing. You're talking about how these executives that were fired under Elon Musk taking over, how come they just quietly went away without any lawsuits or anything? They would have no standing for a lawsuit. They have a new person that is coming in and they are operating as the owner of the social media company. They have no obligation to keep
It
them under
doesn't work
there.
like
They
that,
have
Gather.
it
It
Hold
does
doesn't
on,
work
work like
Nitya,
that
that.
Nitya, hold on a second. Let him speak.
it does
Thanks.
work that like that for one. For two, if you're going to claim that the suppression of a story that was reversed within 24 hours, um, that wasn't even federally involved, do you acknowledge that Fox News was sued for almost 800 million dollars for defaming the Dominion voting machines?
Yeah, so that I think that was stupid of Fox to do that. Personally, I think they didn't need to do that at all. They could have, if now from hindsight they know that it's Murdoch. He was they that was a mistake that they did that, and I think they shouldn't have done that. And I don't think it was credible at all that
They
they did
shouldn't have
that.
done what?
What's that?
They shouldn't have lied about it.
No, they should have allowed him to give to. So the specific topic was with, I think, mostly with Tucker Carlson, wasn't it? With him saying, what did he say? Could you please remind me? Was it him talking about these machines,
It
saying that they
wasn't.
were?
Yeah, it wasn't
What
just
was it
Tucker
about?
Carlson. It was like executives behind the scenes. It was partners and CEOs that were behind the scenes that were saying that they were losing viewership to OAN and Newsmax, and that they had to continue to perpetuate the lies about the inaccuracy of the Dominion voting machines, so they can retain their viewership in support of Trump.
So you're saying that was it proven that these machines are reliable though? Gather?
Yes,
It was proven that the machines
that's
are
why.
reliable. That means that people can't hack them. It's impossible to hack them. And is that what you're saying? That they're unhackable? What are you saying there exactly?
I'm saying that the Dominion company lost out on, I'm not sure the exact amount of money, but they lost out on business opportunities in dozens of states because of these lies that are being perpetuated by these media companies.
What
And when you
lies?
look for,
What lies? What lies? That they're unhackable, or that they're see? Because from my understanding now, they're saying that those machines. Elon, who's a very smart guy, he says I can hack that machine. So I don't see how you say there's no. I don't believe that those machines are unhackable. What are you saying? Are you saying they're not hackable?
yeah, I'm trying to get these quotes up right now,
Okay.
and then someone else can
So I'm not
go
that
ahead and
informed
speak.
on this. I'm not that informed on this topic, so I just am spouting out the little I
And
know about it. But
to be
Elon
clear,
Musk
I'm only
just
bringing
came
this
out
up.
and said, I've heard lately, let me just finish this 10 seconds, is that I've heard Elon and a lot of smart guys saying those machines are hackable. We've got to get rid of those machines. So go ahead. What are your quotes?
Sure, even if I were to grant that they were potentially hackable, there is no counter solution to whatever is being suggested, especially whenever it comes to mail-in ballots. So I don't even know why people bring that
Okay,
up.
so here's the
And
difference.
if
Here,
they are
with that,
hackable, then I would say that like show evidence that they were hacked to show that they're inaccurate or invalid. Just because something
I
has
think
the
what
potential of
I
being
think what
hacked
they're
doesn't mean it's irrelevant or it's not.
I think what they're saying, Gather, when they're saying it's hackable, is that if you have a nefarious person going in and hacking, and there's no voter ID, that if there's this nefarious theory that if they're hackable and they're changeable, they're going to do it in a way where what the CIA and the deep state claims is plausible deniability. So they're going to do it in a way where you can't prove it that it was done, but that it was done in a way because of the fact that there's no ID, that you can get away with it, that you can hack and get away with it and not be able to prove it. What do you think of that? Maybe, like I say, I'm kind of ignorant on this. Nitya, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, when you have a system connected to the Wi-Fi, when you have a system that has a motherboard, when you have a system that's connected to a mother system, in today's times and technology, it would be pretty naive to say that it's not hackable. First and foremost, two, to the point of proving, I will just give you a very quick example that India is a country with 1.4 billion population, and so the elections are humongous. They happen over a period of a month time. They happen in 5 to 7 different phases, because that's how much manpower is required to monitor the elections. So there the EVMs were introduced about a couple of decades ago, and the electronic voting machines. And when the left started losing in India, the left government, which usually had the privilege of being in power because it's a family party that was always in power, they started questioning the EVMs. So it was the Supreme Court of the country repeatedly asked people, all the hackers, experts, to come and prove how it could be hacked, because those EVMs are standalone, basic calculator kind of machines. They're not connected to anything. There is no Wi-Fi, there is no Bluetooth, there is no internet, there is absolutely nothing smart about them. They are just calculating. They're just tabulating electronic voting machines. So then it was eventually, over a 10-year battle over this, was absolutely proven that all the hackers were called by the party that was constantly questioning those electronic voting machines, and they had to concede that yes, it is not hackable because it has no connection to anything. It's basically a
Yeah,
tabulating machine.
I heard about that, Nitya.
Yeah.
That's a very, very interesting. Gather, what do you want to say? Or
Yeah.
Angela, you
So
haven't spoken. Do you have anything to say about this,
Um, I
or do
think
you want to
I'm
listen for a while?
I think I'm good right now.
Okay, good. Gatherer. So the point she made really doesn't counterpoint what we're talking about, but it is very. I find it very interesting because, like I say, I'm learning about this. I am not an expert on this stuff. Go ahead, Gather. Any thoughts or?
Yeah, I mean, extraordinary claims are going to require extraordinary evidence that's never been presented in the case of last election. I pulled up some quick quotes that were presented in the lawsuit from last election. These ones, like you mentioned, were explicitly from Tucker Carlson, where he said, Sidney Powell is lying, Carlson told a Fox News producer in a November 16, 2020 exchange before using expletives to describe Powell, an attorney representing Trump. You keep telling our viewers that millions of votes were changed by the software. I hope you will prove that very soon, Carlson wrote to Powell a day later. You've convinced them that Trump will win. If you don't have conclusive evidence of fraud at that scale, it's a cruel and reckless thing to keep saying. There was no indication that Powell replied. When we kept pressing, she got angry and told us to stop contacting her, Carlson told viewers on November 19th, 2020. He had taken Powell seriously, but that she never provided any evidence or demonstrated that the software Dominion used siphoned votes from Trump to Biden.
Thank you, Gather. Any more? Because I want to comment on this on the side of Gather. See, even Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a very smart guy, he says when he researched it deeply, the elections, as far as they know, were not stolen by the method that Trucker was claiming. And a lot of other smart people back Gather up here, and so my point is that that may be true that if they cannot cut, but the problem what I'm hearing is that do you know if the machines, like Nitya was saying, do you know if those machines were connected to Wi-Fi, because what Nitya's point really comes into play here, because even though they didn't prove anything, I would like to know if they were connected to Wi-Fi, and if so, even though at that time Tucker and whatever people couldn't present anything, maybe they weren't aware of some of the information now, that if they were connected to Wi-Fi, they could have been hacked in ways that couldn't be thought out at that time. Nitya, you want to say? She's saying 100%. What do you have to say about that, Nitya?
Yep. So that's the bottom line. That if you have connection to the internet, it is hackable. Everything is hackable. If that's how, there is definitely an element of doubt there. So to prove that it happened, of
Yeah.
course, you have to go all the way. So to Gatherer's point, extraordinary claims have to be backed by evidence. I have a very simple question. Trump, Donald Trump, is a Nazi.
Never said that.
Wait a minute. I
Let's
don't want to
no, no, no.
switch. I don't want to
This,
switch topics, though. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
Don't
Because
switch
I
topics,
thought
though.
I thought we were kind of hitting a kind of dead end here, because neither of us can actually take it to conclusion, because it's not like a settled issue, even between the politicians, even between the system over the last 4 years. So I
So
didn't think
you're,
that we could actually take it to conclusion. But then
Well, we
if you
could take
think
it
we could, go
to
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
conclusion, but if you do want to
yeah,
take it to
I would like to,
conclusion
let's
for
stay
your
on
side,
Nitya. I
there
think
would have to be
hold on,
some.
Gather, just a second. I'll go right to you. Nitya, I think I agree that you can, there's a little more I want to go down this rabbit hole. And then you're saying kind of, you want to shift gears to something where I agree. Let's shift. I don't want to stay here too long. So Gather, and Angela wants to move on from this too. Gather, you've made some good points and I appreciate it. I'm learning more. I still think the 2020 election was stolen, but if not through, I'm thinking more and more like Vivek, it was stolen through media stuff, and that's where I'm going to give you the
Well,
evidence that we can talk
just
about later. Hold on just a second. Let me just finish. So I'm going to reiterate this, and then you can have the floor, Gather. So I'm going to reiterate. I do not believe we're going to win this debate with Gather. I think he has a stronger case than we do in this, as far as just proving that the electors were turned by nefarious actions within the machines. I think our case so I do believe that in my own mind, and I could probably be wrong, I'm ignorant, that Trump was actually probably wrong in thinking that they were changed in that way. However, if he's proven right the other way, which I'm going to give a bunch of evidence in the text, I'm going to give a bunch of data in the text, and then we can have a part 2 of this. That's where this discussion is going to go live. So I'm going to let Gather close this out for us, and then we're going to move on to the next topic.
Yeah, it's just frustrating because at some point it hits a wall and it's like, oh, well, there's no conclusion to this, so we might as well just not speak about it, when everybody's still just going to be dug into their beliefs regardless of whatever evidence is provided or lack of evidence is provided. Like the claim that the Hunter Biden laptop storage suppression that was reversed within 24 hours and had no government involvement is somehow
Well, wait a minute. Let's
because,
not. If
well,
we could gather,
I'm gonna finish what I'm saying real quick.
let's not pivot away from the machine thing first.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because
I'm just reiterating. But I was going to say with
Okay.
with that, there's like a simultaneous claim where it's like this is the thing that potentially swayed the voters in favor of Biden as
That's
opposed to Trump. But
completely.
then
How
with
is
the
that
Dominion,
connected?
because
Gather?
it's
How's
connected
that
because there's more
connected?
evidence that the lies, the intentional lies by Rudy Giuliani, by Donald Trump, by Sidney Powell, by Eastman, by regarding election fraud, the Dominion voting machines, regarding the fake electors that were unable to be certified because it was unconstitutional. Like all of that shit is
Yeah.
like that's probably
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
arguably a much
Yeah.
stronger case than, well, I don't know, maybe this Hunter Biden laptop story that was reversed in 24 hours is like,
I totally agree with you, Gather. I totally agree with you. See what Gather's saying here, and this is where I like to be totally fair to people like Gather, because Gather is actually, in my opinion, he's sincere in this aspect. I actually think the evidence that I've seen, like Vivek says too, is that the evidence is actually on their side as far as cheating through the machines themselves and that type of stuff. I think there was a lot of false stuff said and done by both Trump and like Rudy, who are good people. Yeah, Nitya, I'll go right back to you about this particular case, but I don't want to conflate that with the Hunter laptop. I think where we're going to win the debate when Gather says overall there's no evidence that the election was stolen, I think he's going to lose there. But I think that given the fact that they brought 90 cases to court, including with judges that
they brought
Trump
64.
elected. Hold on, how many?
64.
64 cases
Yep.
were brought during that. What's that? Yeah, 64 cases were brought during that time, including the judges who Trump appointed, all found after a whole court case, that 64 cases that showed that there was not actually cheating in the ways that they were saying that there were. And if that's the case, I want to know the truth and admit it. But that does not mean that the election wasn't stolen. It doesn't mean that. So the next step is to I'm going to gather a bunch of evidence, and then we're going to look at the censorship, because that to me is where it was stolen, the censorship and much more. We can go into that. So Nitya is giving a grace period. So I want to shift gears now and go to this border.
Prepare
Gather,
for irrelevant shit.
can you talk about how,
Jim, for a second, can I
yeah,
just take a
Nitya,
break
sure.
for
Yeah,
no, yeah,
absolutely.
before you go to the border, give me 1 minute to just humor ourselves
To
here.
demolish
For a
me.
second, I want to go with Gatherer, say that the election last 2020 was not stolen. Let's agree it was not stolen. It was a free and fair election. Uh, Joe Biden got 81 million votes. Today, Kamala is at 60 million votes.
60. Wait a minute.
She's
She's at 68 million votes. Let's be
66.
accurate.
66 is the number, not 68.
No, not 66. Okay, I'm going to grok it. Hold on, I'm going to grok it. Go ahead
Six,
and
no,
talk for a
six,
while.
six, right? 66, not 56. 6, 6, and 6.
No,
66.
68 at
Okay.
least.
So he was 81 million, and she's at 668. Geez, I
Yeah,
wonder what happened.
to the 12 million others. Exactly, I
13
agree.
million. I wonder what
That's a
happened.
different topic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally
No,
agree.
I was just humoring. If that was not stolen, this is a free and fair election. Then I
That's a good
wonder,
point.
in the decline of 13 million votes,
Sure, if
like
there's
what
evidence
happened?
Yeah,
showing that it was stolen, then I would be open to it. However, whenever you're talking about, well, there was more of a voter turnout last election than there is now, so that's obviously the case that it was stolen.
It
However,
is
was
that
not.
true?
you're not presenting any evidence whatsoever, and you're only assuming you're playing so much into your cognitive dissonance and your bias to where you're saying, hey, these numbers don't match. So therefore, it has to be stolen. It's not, oh, there are probably other external factors that play into the reason why these exist. Do you ever stop to think and be like, hey, I wonder why these numbers would be lower than last time? Like, do you ever question yourself about that, or you just go like,
Gather,
oh, this is stolen?
you're missing my point. I said humor me for a minute, and that's when I said I'm going to go with you that the last election was not stolen. Joe Biden won fair and square, 81 million votes. This election, just today, few hours ago, the president of the United States today said it was a free and fair election, and it was an absolutely fantastic election. So we had this, and the press secretary also said that, in their press release today, it was a free and fair election. So let's
Yeah,
assume the
because
both are free and
Democrats have standards.
I'm saying your standards, right?
Yep.
I'm agreeing. You guys have absolute fantastic standards. All I'm saying is last election was free and fair, 81 million votes. This was free and fair, 66, 68, whatever million votes. All I said was, geez, I wonder where those votes went away. That's all I asked. And I said,
And
humor me for a minute.
Gather's point, and yes, I agree with you, Nitya. This is a very good point. And Gather is saying, so she's not making, she's asking, she
She
conceded
is.
that she's conceding. Let's assume. Gather, give me a second here. So the question is,
She's so
when
fucking
they're to
spineless.
say with this contentious election and with the amount of fervor that Barack Obama, that Oprah Winfrey, that everybody said we've got to turn out fully, to say that let's say 10 to 12 million less voters from 4 years ago, that's I'm skeptical of that. What's your answer? What's your opinion on that, Gather? And then we're going to go to Ethan.
Yeah, are there any possible like external factors that you guys would consider for a lower voter turnout versus the last election?
Definitely, I
Like
would
what?
love to look
What
at
would
those
you
and
what would
where
you
the incentives
consider?
lower voters. What's
What
that?
It was not a lower voter turnout, first of all. It was
it
not a
was?
lower voter turnout.
It was
Wait a
lower
minute,
voter
hold on a
turnout.
second. First of all, Gather, according to the numbers, it's definitely lower turnout according to the numbers,
Yep.
Nitya. You just said it yourself, 68 compared to 81. So that's definitely a lower turnout,
Yep.
unless there was cheating. So Gather, you're saying, hey, are we open to possible ideas besides cheating of how it could be 12 million lower? Yeah, Gather, tell us. What are some possible scenarios that could cause that, in
Yeah,
your
I would say
opinion? Yeah, I'm
that we
open
are
to it.
not currently in a lockdown to where people have endless time because they have no jobs due to the lockdowns that are preventing them from actually going to work. The accessibility to having ballots mailed to them is probably a much bigger factor into playing into that. Also, you have Trump where he's actively discouraging his voters to vote in the form of mail-out votes. You also have the COVID.
Wait a minute. Say that last part again. That sounded inaccurate to me. Say that last part again.
Trump was actively discouraging his voter base from using voter ballot or mail-in ballots.
No, he wasn't.
He
That's not true.
was. He was.
He was?
Yep.
He was.
Yep.
Or
You had Steve
he was
Bannon. You had
now.
his
You know.
personal
He
advisors.
did that last election. This election, he understood.
That's what we're
Last
talking
Yeah.
election,
about.
2020,
That's what
he
we're
did it.
talking about.
This time he
I'm
said,
sorry.
go
Hold
vote
on,
early,
Nitya.
go
Hold
vote
on,
by mail.
Nitya. Hold on, Nitya. Hold on. I'm sorry. Gather. Are you saying last election or this election?
Last election. I'm giving reasons
Okay,
why there
sorry.
was a higher
My
voter
bad.
turnout
My
in
bad.
last
My
election
bad.
versus
Yep.
now.
Totally my fault. You're accurate. Sorry. That was my fault.
No, you're
Continue,
fine.
Gather.
Also with COVID in general, like people are going to look at that and be like, "Oh shit, shit's fucked. I want a new turn."
Good
And
language. Just for
yeah,
sake,
sure.
please use
Yeah,
good
stuff
language.
is messed up.
No.
I'm gonna vote for the other
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That probably plays into it. Versus now, whenever people are working, whenever the economy is up and going, there's going to be less time available to it. People aren't super jazzed about Kamala. Um, even though she's like the quote unquote incumbent, she's not the direct incumbent because that would be Joe Biden, but she's part of the administration as the vice president, which typically incurs the advantage in elections. But she's not a very popular person. She didn't have a very long candidacy. Um,
Okay, that's enough. Gather. That's beautiful. See, to me, Nitya, I think he's making a good, plausible case for maybe to look into why there was a differentiation without the cheating from the last time. So, I like that because let's if we're seekers of truth, let's go out and find it. I think without having to fight for something we're not sure about. Instead, let's point it out, give good reasons as to why it possibly could be cheating or why it possibly couldn't be. Good. That's what it's good about. Nitya, we're going to go to you in just a second, but I want you to introduce you guys to Ethan, who I've made co-host because this guy, I just really like Ethan. Could you talk, Ethan? And then when you're done here, we're going to have I talk. I'm going to introduce I and see what he has to say. Ethan, you have the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jim, I appreciate you hosting. Good to see everyone. And I guess I'll just ask the question to everyone. And I know that Jim, you've probably heard me ask this before, but if in 2016 the Democrats rigged the primary against Bernie Sanders, which Hillary Clinton's admitted, Debbie Weissman Schultz admitted, who was the interim chair at the time, and Donna Brazile, who was the former chairwoman at the time, if those three people all agreed that they gave the debate questions to Hillary Clinton ahead of time, they were limiting voter rolls to Bernie Sanders and voter information the same way they did with RFK. So this isn't new. But my point is, if they did this in 2016, right? And then here in 2024, all of a sudden Joe Biden drops out in the middle of the night from an unofficial letterhead, not White House letterhead, not even a matching signature. But that's besides the point. I'm just saying if in 2016 they drop out, if 2016 they would cheat their own candidate, like someone in their own party, what would make you think they wouldn't try and cheat in the 2024 election? And again, I don't think Joe Biden necessarily dropped out. If you look at the signature, it doesn't match. I think Joe Biden went to bed on Sunday night thinking he was still running. They officially tweeted something from the White House or from Joe Biden's account saying, "Hey, I'm done with the race." The signatures didn't match. There was no White House letterhead. It was very suspicious. So I'm just wondering if they did that both times. One, I can confirm in 2016, like they wrote about it. Hillary Clinton wrote about it in her book, What Happened. Debbie Weissman Schultz admitted it. Donna Brazile went on the air and admitted on Fox News as well as other news stations. So if they would do it then, why wouldn't they do it now? If they would cheat to their own party, what would make them not cheat to the country? I guess is my question.
Okay, so Ethan, before anybody else speaks, I want to say real quick, and then I'm going to go to Angelo. And then we're going to have introduce himself and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your position, maybe for or against Trump. And then Ethan, I want to say I agree with everything except for I don't agree that his signature was. It's not plausible to me that his signature was faked. I think they forced him out, but he chose because of that force. Because I think they have dirty laundry on him. And they say, hey, either you bow out or we're going to start revealing your dirty laundry. And I think he signed it. The reason why I don't think it's plausible that they faked his signature is because if they actually faked the signature and he got up the next morning and saw that, I don't think he would be so vehemently for his own party still. So that's my only comment on that. Ethan, do you want a really quick comment and counter that, or is it okay if I go
Yeah,
to
I just put it in the jumbotron. You guys can compare the signatures. But in 2016 it definitely happened, and I think probably in 2028 we'll know that Joe Biden actually. I think that and I'll just end it with this, Jim. I think the issue is like once Joe Biden dropped out, he can't, like, the funding was instantly switched from Joe Biden's war chest to Kamala's war chest. Like everything was already done by Monday morning when Joe Biden woke up.
Why would he, if that, I agree with all that, but why would he come out and freely be so adamant in support of Kamala if somebody actually stole his signature? Why would he still support them as he is to today?
Well, I think he was tanking Kamala's campaign in some way. Like you saw Joe Biden on election day wearing the MAGA red. You saw Joe Biden put on the MAGA hat. He knew what he was doing. Yeah. And then the signatures are on the Jumbotron. You can take it down when you need to.
Got it. No, that's fine. Thank you, Ethan. Okay, Angelo, you're up.
Thanks, Jim. Ethan, I agree with that 100%. Actually, and just the fact that in 2016, it was Bernie, right, who who did. Okay, so that's correct. And Brazil and all the Democrat pundits and the media and what have you, I just find it very interesting that we have a party claiming that the Republican Party cannot question a election, but that said party gets upset when we question it. It's just very, I think, interesting to me. For a party that's adamant about democracy, right? 14 million votes, okay, for the primary for Biden. Just FYI, people. FYI. Come on. Harris had 0 votes. Nothing. No one voted for her at all. Period. So for claiming about, oh yeah, we're for democracy and stuff and all that. We are a constitutional republic.
Those aren't exclusive. You acknowledge that, right?
Before we go on a counter argument here, I just want to let I introduce himself. Then we'll go to Nitya and then back to Gather.
Fucking retarded. Holy shit.
Go ahead.
These people are brainless.
Hello, I'm AI human in disguise, and I voted for Trump in this past election. I voted for Trump in 2020 as well, and I wanted to quickly chime in about what you guys were talking about, and I think my theory would be is that if it wasn't like if it was his signature, in fact, I think like there was potentially elder abuse involved with Joe Biden. Some people claim that they found evidence of bruising, and so I think partly it could have been elder abuse, considering that we have seen moments where he's showing signs of dementia. So I do think that could be a contributing factor, and so I think that is also something to consider. So that's just my opinion.
Thank you, AI. Nitya?
Oh man, AI, you absolutely threw me off guard. I mean, like where we were, what I was about to talk, you came and said things that threw me completely off guard. But I was kind of agreeing with Ethan when a part of what Ethan said. And okay, I mean, Angelo, yes, you were also, right in the fact that, but yeah, AI, great. Jim, you should have let me go before AI, because I need to gather my bearings again.
No
Okay.
problem. Here, you know what, Nitya,
She's like, dang it.
we're gonna go to Gather and then right back to you, Nitya. Gather, go ahead.
Yeah, Angela, do you acknowledge that a republic and a democracy aren't mutually exclusive?
You're saying they're not mutually exclusive.
Like they can exist at the same time, correct?
They can, yes, but I do find it interesting that, like I said,
Are you gonna say Harris had no votes?
Go
Zero
ahead,
votes,
Angelo.
dude. She got
Yeah,
zero votes,
sure.
dude.
Do you acknowledge
Zero.
that
Nothing.
the candidates or the parties that the candidates represent, that the parties are private organizations? Do you acknowledge that?
Yes, I
Okay,
do,
do you
but
acknowledge that the delegates are
they
the only thing
have
that's
Angelo,
no
Angelo,
responsible?
primary.
go ahead and, if you would, Angelo, go ahead and follow Gather's point of view here, because he's making a point, and then once you understand it, then you can counter it. But just go ahead and follow his lead here, and then once he makes
Go
his
ahead.
point,
Go
then
ahead,
you
sir.
can
Go ahead.
counter it. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
sure.
ahead.
The point that I'm illustrating is that there's a massive difference between a federal election versus a primary election. Whenever Biden was voted in office, Kamala Harris was the vice president, and the delegates that are required to back a candidate to represent that private organization basically 100% backed Kamala Harris whenever she began running as the candidate for the Democratic Party. Not necessarily all of them. You need like 1,700 or something to uh, fall behind you. She had like over 3,000, and nobody else recommended or suggested any other candidate. They were basically lockstep behind Harris every step of the way.
Okay, so before you answer that, Angelo, I just want to make a comment there. I totally agree with Gather here, but it's not like they broke the law. It's a constitutional republic where they have, as the DNC, they have every right to do that. My point is not that they broke the law or anything, but that the way they went about it, what seemed very unethical and kind of yeah, just very unethical. And that's all I'll say on
Yeah,
that.
I
With
was
that,
just
I'm
gonna
going to go
say.
with
I was
Jim,
gonna
I
say
want
real
to come in
quick.
Yeah,
here. I want to come
hold
in
on a
here.
second. Angelo, wait a minute. I want Angelo, because we haven't finished yet. I said Angelo, after he hears the counterpoint, then Angelo can give his opinion. And then once he does, then Nitya will speak.
The democratic process, right, is to allow for citizens to vote for a candidate in a primary, correct?
Partially.
In the
Correct?
primary?
Partially.
Yes, to vote for a candidate, right,
Partially.
of their choosing,
What'd you
right?
say, Gatherer?
I said partially.
Uh, in what way is it
So
partial and not
how
complete?
is that
Explain it again for him,
partially?
Because we
Gatherer.
acknowledge the groundwork of it being a constitutional republic, which is a democratic republic where we vote for people that represent our interests. So whenever we're voting for the Biden Harris ticket, we're voting for the delegates that represent them.
She
Right.
got
Okay.
zero votes.
How
But
many
they don't have to
delegates do
do
you
it that
think?
way.
How many delegates do you think
Angelo,
backed
what the point?
Harris?
Hold it a second. Is that Gatherer talking?
Yes.
Yeah, so let me just say, yeah, Angelo, they don't have, it's totally legal for them to do it the way they wanted. We just think it's unethical.
It's not even that
I'm gonna
it's
let
illegal. That's my
Gather go
issue.
ahead. What's up?
It's
Gather,
I,
completely
say that.
unethical.
I'm not saying that it's illegal or anything. It's not contradictory to the claim that Democrats appreciate and value democracy. Whenever they're talking about appreciating and valuing democracy, we're talking about how Kamala Harris, even though she actively dislikes and has a disdain and distaste for Trump and his campaign and everything, she's willing to come out with a concession speech whenever Trump still continues to refuse the certification of the election. Whenever he tries to put forth fake electors, which is completely against the law. And then whenever he tries
She,
to incite a fucking riot at the Capitol building, whenever there's a peaceful transfer of power that's attempted, and the refusal to work with the Biden administration, do you see
Hold
how
on.
those are
okay,
completely
so wait a minute,
different?
Gather.
May,
Okay, that's good. Gather brought up a bunch of stuff and some legitimate
Jim,
points. The part about the Nitya, I'm getting right to you, and then Ethan. Gather the part about the insurrection. That was a Fedsurrection, so we totally disagree there. I agree with
It
Gather, and
wasn't a
so we can argue that.
Fedsurrection,
But
but
hold
we
on,
can
one at
even
a
go with
time,
the other
you don't.
stuff.
I know you don't. I know you just totally disagree. We'll get there in a second. I just wanted to get that out since you mentioned it quick. I did a counter real quick,
May,
and so I'm gonna just drop it here and go to Nitya, and then we'll go to Ethan.
Thank you. No, I mean, so we can go all over the place all the time, but if you talk about something, I mean, first of all, let's talk about democracy, republic. Yes, republic is the constitution. You make that. You got to stand by it. Democracy is the will of the people.
Yep.
That's precisely what it turns. Okay, yeah, Gather, you can mute yourself because I'm talking.
Or
So
I don't have to
democracy
mute
is
myself. I'm
will of the
actually just
people.
acknowledging what you
Yeah.
say. I don't know if you get
Sorry.
triggered over that
Yeah,
often, but
yeah,
go on.
Nitya, we
No,
have
no,
a
no.
no.
It echoes.
He
Okay,
can
Jim,
go ahead.
because the voice
Nitya, go ahead.
echoes.
No, what he said was okay. Go ahead, Nitya. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, it echoes. But then people, I mean, people are staying muted when someone talks because the voice echoes. Otherwise, if
I thought
someone
what he
else
did
is
was
unmuted, you can
I
hear your
I
voice back
thought
again.
okay. So I thought what his interruption was okay. The amount. Just keep going.
Or
Keep
he can
going.
unmute and interrupt if he wants to. But staying unmuted is not courtesy of
I
space.
don't
It's
hear
an
You know
any
that.
echoes
acknowledgement,
though.
dude. Just
If I
go on. Just don't
Okay.
be triggered. Just
if
go.
I'm
If
not
I heard
triggered.
an
You
echo,
sound
okay,
triggered.
Nitya, hold
One
on, hold
second,
it, hold
Jim.
it. Let me speak. Hold it, hold it,
Let
hold
me
it, hold it.
respond to him,
I'm the
Jim.
host. Nitya, hold it.
Yeah.
I'm the host. I don't hear any echoes. I don't need them to be anybody to be unmuted until I hear an echo. Nitya, go ahead.
So let me say, gatherer, I am not getting triggered or emotional because I did not go bald today. I didn't cut my hair. I didn't shave my head. I didn't go bald. I didn't put out crying videos, howling videos. So I am not triggered. Can we get that straight? Now, coming back to the point, democracy is about will of the people. So when you say will of the people, this country is pretty much 50-50 divided between the left and the right. So when you have when you literally rob the half the country of giving them the opportunity to decide who should be representing them by holding the primary, which RFK Jr. threw in his hat as a Democrat. He absolutely deserved to be given a chance to debate Biden. If other people did not throw in their hat, he actually did. And he was a centrist Democrat. He is a registered centrist Democrat. He's a Democrat. Today he's a Republican because obviously you guys literally, lost a gem. You lost a gem in him, but he could have actually, won this for you. All right, but he threw in his hat. You denied him the opportunity. You said you cannot do it. And by that, you denied 50% of this country the opportunity to be proud of the candidate that they would rally behind and they would support 100% and they would vote 100%. And when you know in this country, the demography and the voting population is such, if the 100% Democrats come and vote, there is no way Republicans can win. The
Okay,
density, the cities, everything is based on that. But Jim, let me finish my point. So
okay.
it is there for the taking. It was there for the taking. What was the compulsion in denying the 50% of the population of the country to choose their representative for the presidential candidate? Why did you do that?
Okay, Gather. And then we'll go straight to Ethan. A short answer, Gather, please.
Yeah, before I answer, I want to ask, do you acknowledge that republics and democracies can exist at the same time?
I want the answer to my question first,
Nope,
please.
I'm asking you a question so I can
Yeah, yeah,
clarify
Okay,
they,
before I
they
so
can.
answer
hold
I
it,
you.
hold
told
it,
you. I
hold it.
told you.
Okay,
That's
as the host,
constitution.
I'm asking both of you
Yeah.
to hold it, hold it. Okay, we're gonna go to Ethan. Ethan?
Yeah, real quick. So, as far as January 6th is concerned, both Nancy Pelosi's daughter, she had admitted on tape. I can put it in the Jumbotron if you want. They were like, hey, if this is an insurrection, it's the weakest insurrection we've ever seen. They were laughing about it and joking about it. Chip Roy, who's a congressman from Texas, says he's seen in the skiff, which is a private, it's like only if you're a congressman can you have access to certain things because you have certain clearances. Chip Roy has admitted that he's seen these tapes of buses of people getting bust to the Capitol. Ray Epps was one of those people. And even Mike Johnson had promised, which he didn't fulfill. So I hope he does soon. He had promised to release all the tapes. They should release all the tapes because if it's a bunch of MAGA people, we already saw that the tapes that they released, they edited them. ABC got in trouble for editing the tapes to add crowd noise. There was definitely people there that shouldn't have been there, but there was also definitely federal agents there, which again, Chip Roy has discussed it, the FBI, Christopher Wray, the director. So I mean, I think that the January 6th thing is not really a big deal because that's all being sorted out. As far as why wouldn't as far as the whole election goes, it's like I think that the Democrats, them choosing to kick out Biden in the middle of the night, which again we can say they did or said they didn't, but they could have still had a primary. They still could. They had the convention coming up. They could have figured it out, but because they didn't and because they got complacent, that's why they lost. That's my thoughts.
Okay, AI. Oh, Angelo, were you first? Okay, Angelo first, and then AI.
Is there a chance to have like
No,
responses to some of these things because it's just constant, just
Okay,
gish galloping of
Gather,
topics?
Go,
We're not
yeah,
Gather,
really
go
go ahead
ahead,
and
nailing
give a
down
Nithya.
stuff.
response and keep
go
it
ahead.
short.
Nithya, do you think it's more undemocratic for a private organization to have the delegates of that candidate back the candidate, or do you think it's more undemocratic to try and put forward false electors to be certified illegally?
So, Gather, I answered your
Irrelevant.
question of Republic or I answered the question, right? Republic or Democrat. I said they can coexist. All right. You didn't answer my question. How did the half the country get robbed of choosing their representative to be the presidential candidate?
They didn't
You
get
didn't answer
robbed.
my question.
They didn't get robbed.
With
How?
RFK, Gather,
Yeah, with
regarding
RFK, you didn't
RFK.
have a primary. He threw in his hat. He was actually campaigning as a Democrat. He was a Democrat.
Okay, let him answer. Let him answer. Do you have any answer about RFK?
I mean,
And
I'd
how is
have to
that
see
fair?
the specific claims about the RFK stuff. I know that he intentionally lied about the New York residency, that he was trying to sue to stay on and off certain ballots, and he openly said, alongside with Jill Stein, that they were staying in states that would harm or potentially take away the votes from Harris's campaign, and then stay on the ones that would help Trump's campaign. So
Okay, so
Come
with
on, Jim.
that,
This is not an honest answer. You're
what's
telling
it?
me
all
a
Wait,
right,
wait,
no,
very
wait.
wait,
What do you
honest
hold
disagree
it.
answer.
with?
It's
What do you
okay.
disagree
We
with?
all, but Nitya, wait a minute, wait a minute. All of us except for Gather, agree with you, Nitya. But Gather made his point. We can let it stand because we know how we all feel.
Wait, she
Okay,
no, she made a claim that I was dishonest. I want to know what she disagrees with about the New York lawsuit
okay, go
regarding
ahead,
RFK.
Nitya. Okay, Nitya, go ahead. He wants to hear from you.
Yeah, so basically, this is the question was asked that RFK Jr. threw in his hat as a Democrat. The Democrat public, 50% of the country that actually leans Democrat, 50% leans Republican, give or take 2-3% this and there. So
I
those
already answered
people should
this.
have had a democracy says people's will reigns supreme. So when he threw in his hat as a Democrat, why was the opportunity not given to him to contest a primary and debate Joe Biden? The number of times he called for debate, why was he denied that opportunity? Okay, Trump was an outsider, right? He was not Republican, but he actually got the primary opportunities. He was an absolute outsider back in 2016. He was not a registered Republican, but he came in. Anybody can throw in their hat. If you can bring the funds, if you have the fuel to stay in the race, you can come in, right? Why was RFK Jr. denied the opportunity to have a primary or a debate with Joe Biden? Why was he denied that? That's a simple question.
Not only was he denied, but he has RFK is a very smart man and he gathers evidence documentation. He was smeared like Tulsi was smeared. He was just downright smeared, not just denied. What do you have to say about that, Gather? I agree with Nitya.
I'd have to see why the reason he was denied for. I don't know if he even got the threshold that was required for him to participate in the debates.
Oh yes, he did. He
Okay,
did.
well, I'll have to
What?
check that
Wait a
later
minute.
on. But
Maybe I'm wrong. Wait a minute. I'm going to retract that statement because did you? I'm not sure what you said. Did you say got the amount of requirement to meet the debate standards?
yes.
So I'm going to retract my statement because I want to make sure I don't say something I can't back up. Who's did AI speak? AI,
Well, I
your
didn't. I
turn.
didn't get a response to my
Okay,
question.
hold
Nithya
on a
just
second.
dodged it and
Okay,
then
go
asked
ahead.
me the same thing
Go
that I.
ahead, Gather. Go ahead and
Yeah,
respond. Short
yeah.
response, and then
So
we're going to wrap this up. Go
there was
ahead.
a claim that I was being dishonest about something. What do you disagree or think that I was dishonest about regarding RFK's case in New York?
So my question was the dishonesty was because you're not staying with
I
what the
don't care
question
about your
was.
question. I asked you a question. You respond to it. If you
No,
claim
no,
that
no.
I'm
My
dishonest,
question came before you asked the RFK question, right? My question was why was the democratic process denied? Why were the 50% of American public denied the option to choose who
yes,
represents
and
him?
I've already answered that. It's
You
completely
want. Okay,
irrelevant.
let
I
me let me.
said
Okay,
to
Gather,
so
respond with the
okay,
RFK
so
let me
stuff.
complete.
Nitya,
Let me complete.
Nitya,
Gather.
hold on a second.
No, no, I need to
That's good.
complete my sentence. He asked me a question. Let me
Okay, go
complete
ahead.
my
Complete your
sentence.
sentence. Go
So
ahead. Go ahead.
if Trump is called a fascist and a
And you're just not
misogynist and a
answering.
sexist, but the half the country had the opportunity to put a fascist,
Still not
to put a
answering.
misogynist, to put a sexist on the ballot, right? They had the opportunity and they put him on the ballot, right? Went through the primaries, right? You put so it is not. It's about robbing the people of who you want to put on the ballot. All
But
right.
but you
Why
said
did
but you said
RFK
he
get
was
robbed?
dishonest. The Gather's question to you was why did you call him dishonest? What
No,
did
it's not.
Gather
Why
say
did I
about that?
call? Yeah, it's
Uh,
not that I. Why did she call me dishonest? I'm
Dishonest
saying,
in
what do you think
basically.
that I was dishonest about in regards to
So
RFK's case in New
When
York?
Jim introduced you,
okay,
he said, yeah.
Nitya and Gather, can I have silence for just a second? So I'm trying to hear what Gather said. What did you say, Gather?
Yes, I want to know what I was dishonest about in regards to RFK's case in New York, which is what she responded with whenever I said it was dishonest, or whenever she said it was
Okay,
dishonest.
Nitya, can you
Okay.
record? Can you
I will
directly say
reiterate.
how he was
I will
dishonest?
reiterate. I did not talk about the case, you being dishonest about his case. I spoke about Jim. You introduced Gatherer as a very honest debater. Here, he's not being
No,
honest about it.
I didn't say an honest
There's like
debater. I
6
said
of you
he's
gish
full of.
galloping on
Wait,
like 6 different
hold it,
topics.
guys, hold it. I didn't say he was an honest debater. I don't think he's an honest debater as far as his side he's taking. I think I think he's avoiding the truth, and therefore I would say it's dishonest. What I'm saying is, and he would disagree with that, that's fine. What I'm saying is he's respectful in his debate skills. That's all I said. Very respectful, and I respect him for that a lot, but I'm not saying his positions are honest. Okay, so Nitya,
To be
you were
clear, I'm not
challenging him and
avoiding
saying,
anything. I'm willing to go down the
okay,
discussions of like the rabbit holes or whatever you guys want to talk about in terms of policies or specific instances. It's
If they did it to
the
Bernie, why wouldn't they
accumulation
do
of
it?
like 6 different people saying 6 different things at once and then trying to address all of them, and then everyone just I
it's
finally grab one, but you're all like covered in oil, and then you like slip out of my fucking hands, and then you just completely
yeah,
avoid any
good
other
language. I
responsibility
agree
or
with.
accountability or
Okay,
whatever.
so yes, Gather here, and so hold on, and then I'm going to Ethan. The problem, I'm going to say something real short, and then Ethan's going to go. Gather, of course, but you're coming into a Republican stronghold here in this space. You know that, so yes, that is a problem, and I agree. It's like everybody's throwing dirt at you, and half the dirt isn't founded in
It's not
all the
dirt.
way. So, well, not what would you call it? Whatever, unfounded facts thrown at you,
But
and you
when
can't
I'm
defend it
willing
all at
to
once. But
go
I
into
think
the facts, and they're not.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So Ethan, you're up.
All right, so I'll just do it one question at a time when I speak. And my question is, Gather, are you aware that in 2016, Hillary Clinton colluded with Debbie Wiseman Schultz and Donna Brazile, the acting chairwoman of the DNC at the time, to give the debate questions ahead of time to Hillary Clinton so she would look more poised and prepared during the debate, ultimately leading to her quote unquote victory? Are you aware that that happened and has been confirmed?
I think I've heard about that. If that is the case, I disavow it. I think it's a stupid fucking thing
Well,
to, or
yeah,
stupid thing to do.
but
Sorry.
and just
Perfect.
let's just say that I'm 100% accurate with it. I could pull the receipts, but let's just say I'm
What
accurate.
he just
And
said.
my
He just
point
said,
is,
Ethan. Okay.
well,
What's your
yeah,
point? Because he
my
just said
point
he would
being
disavow. If that's the case, he said he would disavow it. So go ahead, Ethan.
exactly no, and I appreciate that. I think any honest person would disavow it. But my question is, if they did it then, why wouldn't they do it now? And that goes to Nitya's point about why couldn't they add the primary? Yes, people did vote for Biden and Kamala, but at the same time, they didn't vote for Kamala, and they had time to. They didn't even have their convention yet, so why couldn't they have discussed it during the convention? Is our
Because
point, I
they're
think.
two completely separate situations. One is like a dishonest representation of the knowledge known prior. The other thing is a private organization having the delegates back one candidate, and under the understanding of how these private organizations work, all you need is the delegates. You don't they're the persons. Whenever we're talking about the Democratic Republic or whatever, how we have people that we democratically vote on to represent us, that's essentially what happened whenever we voted on the Biden-Harris ticket with the delegates. We had those delegates that we essentially
But we
voted
didn't vote
in
on the
to
Harris Walls ticket.
we did, or not the Harris Walls, but we essentially did whenever we voted for the Biden-Harris ticket, and the delegates backed the Harris ticket.
Yeah, they did. They did. So that's right. Ethan, what do you have to say to that? I agree with Gather also, but I think he's dead wrong. In fact, I think he's using, in my opinion, Gather, and I'm going to accuse you here, Gather, and then you can count. I'm going to let you counter. What I'm accusing you is avoiding the obvious facts that are pointing to nefarious activity, and just you're countering it not with you're going from one place to another to try to find where any weakness in any person's argument, and finding that weakness and focusing on that instead of looking at the elephant in the room. And I know you're going to say, well, Trump's nefariousness is the elephant in the room, actually, and you can say that, but I can just say to you, Gather, all of my research and sincerity, I have found that I have come to the opposite conclusion that you are. And I'm wondering, it's like, if this guy's being honest, I'm wondering how it can be that he comes to such an opposite conclusion. But here's what I want to say to Gather: to come into this room and to challenge everybody here. Vivek Ramaswamy says, if only we were willing to do this out in the open and everybody do this, I think the majority of the people in the United States would come to the right conclusion. And I think they have in this election. But Gather, I appreciate you for coming in here and taking us on, especially in a way where I think your debate skills are excellent and honorable. I agree with Nitya in saying that, to me, it seems very dishonest to keep avoiding the so many plausible things, especially when I asked you to see Tulsi Gabbard and Phil and Dr. Phil. I'm going to pivot to that right now. Gather, you said you watched that. What do you think of what that was so obvious to let everybody know? Dr. Phil interviewed Tulsi Gabbard, and she laid out a very careful idea of how, when she decided not to go along with the mainstream Democrats, they literally put her on the terrorist watch list. What's your opinion of what that interview was about?
Yeah, I'm highly skeptical about anything that she says. I didn't see any evidence of like or
Why?
any
Why
in-depth
would you
thing.
be highly
Well, because I'm
skeptical?
not going to explain it for one. For two,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any evidence or any detail that she's went on to explain whenever she was describing the terrorist watch list. If there is any in-depth shit that you or stuff that you guys want to talk about that, and I'm willing to look it up, that's totally fine. However, I'm really skeptical whenever you outright, not you specifically, but like whenever she's talking outright about denying the usage of Russian disinformation in American media. So, like, if there's already this very obvious claim that is being thrown away immediately by her, then I'm going to be very skeptical of the other claims that she's making and probably think that they're relatively inaccurate at best, and dishonest at
Okay,
worst. But
so there's a lot of people who want to speak. Or thank you, Gather. There's a lot of people who want to speak there. To me, that argument that you just made, for me, from what I've investigated, completely and 100% falls down. Now I know you're completely different, but I'm just telling you, that argument, in my opinion, it completely falls down. But that's your opinion. That's fine. Okay, Ethan, did you finish everything you wanted to say before we go to AI and Nitya? I think, did you have a hand up? It's down now. Are you done?
I think Gather knows what's up. He's just acting like he don't. But I no further comment from me.
Okay, AI, what's up?
Okay, if I were ever to be elected as president, Ethan would be my vice president. I'm just saying this now.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Angelo, were you before Nitya? You haven't spoken as much, Angelo. And then
No,
we'll
I
go to
think that
Nitya.
Nithya was. I think
Well,
Nithya
say
was
again.
second, first. Nithya was first. I think Nithya was first.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, Nitya, go ahead.
Okay, no, I just wanted to ask. Gatherer, we absolutely do not intend to ambush you. We are completely, and totally agree with Jim when he says, I follow Vivek to the extent that he has really calmed the nerves so much. He talks to people who abuse him to his face and literally, say the most, wild things. And he's like, okay, I get where you're coming from. Let's talk about this and let's see why you feel that way. I mean, which is like, amazing quality to have. So I would say that I agree with Jim when he says we should engage. The answer to, whatever hate speech is more speech, and you don't curtail speech, you talk about it. So I get it. My only point here is you keep jumping to the fact that the delegates, you know, um, gave Kamala the go ahead. You are actually totally circumventing the process of primaries that happened almost a year ago. Should have happened when RFK was actually campaigning. The convention and the delegates endorsing happens at the fag end. You are constantly focusing on the delegates, on the DNC. You are not going
that's
to the
all that
fact that
matters. You
when
fucking
the
retard.
primary
Holy fuck.
started, at that time, RFK Jr. was there. He had thrown in his hat. He was campaigning as a Democrat candidate, for God's sake. I don't know whether it was his own money or he was getting funded. A lot of money goes into campaigning. He was campaigning, expecting that there would be a process, and people would the Democrat voting public, 50% of the country, would have a say in putting Joe Biden up or me up. As a Democrat for the candidate to fight against whoever
And
comes to the
Nitya,
ticket.
and think
Yeah.
of this, Nitya, and if anybody says, well, did he even Gather said, well, did he even qualify enough to get such and such, to get into the whatever? He said something about qualifying. Was he even qualifying? The popularity of this man, of Kennedy, I mean, it is the closest thing that challenges Trump's popularity as far as just the American citizenry. I mean,
Yep.
you have probably 30 million people who fervently back up this guy. To not let a person who wanted to run on the Democratic candidacy, who has 30 million people who ardently love him, is crazy. Gather, what do you have to say to that? I
So,
totally agree with
but
Nithya.
let me say one line.
My
Don't
Yeah,
get me
please
fucking
finish.
wrong.
god.
Sure,
Don't
sure.
get me wrong. I am thankful for what they did. I'm happy that they did this. I'm happy that they shunned Kennedy. I'm happy that they threw Tulsi Gabbard out. I'm very happy because their loss is our gain. Because I don't think a Trump victory this way would have been possible had he been up against Kennedy. because
That's
most
such
of
a
the
Nithya.
in 100% Democrats and the center, the right, so the center right Republicans would have gone for Kennedy. All right.
This is where I
Yeah.
think we're going to win over. He doesn't think so, but I genuinely think, Gather, if you are sincere for truth, and I think you are, I think we're going to win you over eventually. I agree that, and I'm going to let Gather go next because we've been putting him down here, kind of saying, how can you be such an idiot and still be for Kamala? He's got to be able to say his piece, and then we'll go to Ethan and AI. But I want to finish. I want to support what Nithya is saying by, when you have this many, when you have Tulsi Gabbard and RFK who have demonstrably shown that millions and millions and millions and millions of tens of millions of people uh, are actively and verbally backing both Tulsi and RFK, and then Elon Musk also. Hundreds of millions of people literally back up Elon Musk. These were three Democrats. For God's sakes, Trump was also a Democrat. I was a Democrat. I voted for Brock. Gather, it's only a matter of time before we get you on our side, in my opinion. Gather, can I get your response?
Yeah, I'll be more likely to
Response, and
go
then
on
we'll
your
go to
side if
Ethan.
there's going to be any evidence presented whatsoever or any engagement with the topic that's being said, as opposed to like 6 different topics at once. If you guys want to go into specific stuff, like I said, however, there's going to be like 3 or 4 different people that are going to keep regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over on like 3 different topics. I don't know if you guys want to address or go into one, but whenever you guys do want to go into it,
Gather.
you
It's
can't
impossible.
simultaneously say that like you have to be dishonest in order to believe this stuff and then not go into anything whatsoever. Nithya, do you acknowledge that 7 slates of fake electors were presented to have Mike Pence certify?
Sorry.
Do you acknowledge that
Good
there were 7
question.
slates of false electors for Mike Pence to certify?
Do acknowledge that Mike Pence was forced to not certify the election last time?
No, do you acknowledge that
No, listen.
Donald Trump and his
Listen.
private lawyers attempted to present 7 slates of fake electors for Mike Pence to certify in his favor? Do you acknowledge that?
I don't. I'm not aware of this false electorate.
Wait, if that
But
was the case,
Okay,
would
hold
you
on,
condemn
Gather.
it?
I think Gather. Maybe Ethan is aware. I'm too dumb in this area too.
Sure.
And I'm not saying you're dumb.
Wait.
Ethan, do you have any information on this one? Do you have
Before
any
Ethan
information on what
jumps in, Nithya, if that were to be the case, where there are false electors being presented for Mike Pence to certify, would you see that as being wrong?
So no. All I know is that Mike Pence was. Donald Trump did ask him. I mean, when I say I know, it's not that I was privy to the conversation, but from what I know, the way you can know by hearing is that he was asking Mike Pence to not certify the elections because he did not believe that was true. Okay, that see, this is history done. He left the office. You had
No.
4 years of
Answer
Wait a minute.
it.
Okay, so wait a minute. Yeah, wait. Let's. I like what you said here. So what I liked about what you said there, Gather, is that Trump. All Trump was saying was that to Pence was that, hey, hold off on certifying them until we get clear on this, and then it would have been very clear, Gather, they were cheating with their 7 slates of electors. Then it would have been out of the open that they were cheating. He should. So there's nothing wrong with asking Pence not to certify.
He asked him to certify.
He asked him to say that again.
He asked him to certify the 7 fake slates of electors.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So he asked him to. So may have got this backwards. Let me be clear on this. So you're saying that Donald Trump went to Mike Pence and asked him to certify 7 slates of electors, which were actually nefariously and wrongly certified. Is that wrongly gotten? Is that right,
Yes.
Gather? Ethan, do you know anything about this? Ethan's pretty smart. Ethan, do you know?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I like to think I'm smart, but I haven't heard anything about this. But if he did do something like that, obviously I disavow that as well. And just for the record,
Gather, I want to give this to you. I would totally disavow that too. So let's look into that. Nithya doesn't. So she's okay. She's cool. So see, this is why I like Gather, guys, is that he may be batting for the wrong team, in my opinion, and I think he'll eventually, if he's sincere, will be batting for our team. But what I like about Gather is he wants to go and substantiate certain things and look at one thing at a time and look at it deeply. And I love that about you, Gather. Okay,
I didn't agree
what's
with
up?
him, Jim. I agree with the fact that
Nitya,
if this were to be proven, then
good, good.
then I would say it's not, it's
There you
wrong.
go.
I don't agree with
So
Gather at
Gather,
all.
there you go, Gather. You have me, Ethan, and Nitya saying if that's true, we agree that that is dead wrong. Okay, AI, what's up?
It took so
Anything?
long, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Say again.
I said it took so long, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, that's
but
okay. So come in whenever you want. You have your hand up still. You can keep it up if you want, or put it down. And when you remember what you want to share, just put your hand back up. Angelo, what's up, brother?
Thanks, man.
I agree, Lori. This is
I think
ridiculous.
the reason that Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, and several others left the Democrat Party is due to the fact that the left, mainly, has you can't they are out of touch with the American people of this country. The reason why is, as someone who is 24 years old, right, who doesn't want to, hear the race baiting, the race baiting, the victimization of let me
Jesus
back up real
Christ,
quick.
dude. Holy fuck.
The fact that the reason why Trump won this election hands down is because the American people saw through the BS of the media, of Hollywood, and of essentially the machine.
I need them to feel
unquote.
ashamed.
To quote Vivek, we're not up against a candidate, we are up against an entire machine, which is true. You can't run a campaign on divisiveness, hatred, and ostracizing 80 plus million Americans in this country. You just can't do that. If you're out of touch with the American people who, like myself, who's a 24-year-old out of college who can't afford a freaking house or a car at all.
How many 24-year-olds own a house now? Ever?
That's due to Democrat policies.
No, what Democrat policies?
California, in Michigan, where I'm from.
Hold on. You fucking
Beyonce
retard.
does not know what it is like to be an American citizen at all. Period. Obama.
A struggling American citizen.
Average.
Yeah, Beyonce does not know a butter costs $3 or $8. It doesn't matter to her.
Exactly.
How are they saying this
Kamala
when their main candidate is a billionaire New Yorker rapist fucking loser? And then the world's most richest man
to my generation, who called my generation stupid. That's why we put them in dormitories, right?
No.
Right? I went to school. I went to college. I worked my butt off to get into college based on merit, hard work, and actual ethics. I didn't get in there because of my race. The Democrat Party uses race, gender, and cultural ideology to completely ostracize the American people. And I'm sorry, that is no party I would ever want to be a part of. That is why the American people said it essentially screw you, pretty much, to the Democrat Party, the media, the machine, the Obamas, the Clintons, the Cheneys, and every single neocon in this country.
This is just
That's why the people don't like her at all.
Okay, Gather, you're up.
Yeah,
Thank
every
you, Angela.
accusation is a confession. You want to talk about race baiting or victimization? That's entirely the Republican Party this whole time. They'll levy
That's
accusation
funny.
after accusation after accusation, and then cry whenever the same thing is like happening to them, or it's misinterpreted that it's happening to them, and they'll just cry
I'm
infinitely
sorry.
about it. Whenever you talk
No,
about not even being
Angelo,
able to buy a house
let
at
him
24
finish.
years
Let him
old,
finish.
that doesn't even make sense. In what point in history do you think any 24-year-old is ever purchasing a house ever? Even if you look at the median age in like 2023 of first-time home buyers, they were 35 years old, and the median age of repeat buyers were 58 years old. I don't know in what market whatsoever, at any point in history, do you see people that are 24 years old coming right out of college that still have that assumed debt that are purchasing homes. I don't know what world you live in or what delusion you
Dude.
have. It doesn't make sense
Okay, hold on,
whatsoever.
Angelo. I wanna let Gather
And then
get filled out.
anytime
Okay,
race or
let's
gender is
go.
brought up to Kamala Harris, you see time after time after time after time where she's like, actually, I'm for the people. I don't want to bring my race into this. I don't want to bring my gender into this. And then you see fucking like Trump on there being like, oh, we have the best blacks, we have the best Latinos, we have the best blah blah blah. It's fucking ridiculous it's freaking ridiculous how you can say this applies infinitely over to the Democrats whenever it doesn't. It just applies infinitely more to the Republicans.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me, dude.
Angelo, hold on.
Let me
Angelo,
think.
hold on. I wanna
May I
say something.
please?
Here, who's speaking? Angelo?
Yes.
Angelo, please, if you could mute just for a second, brother. If you could mute, just thanks. Gather, everybody here, I can speak for everybody here. We 100% disagree with that point of view, but he's entitled to his point of view. That's fine. He
It's
let
just
it.
wrong.
The thing, huh?
There's
What's
no
that, Gather?
there's no basis of reality where he's complaining about not being able to purchase a home at 24 years old right out of college.
Okay,
That's
so
never
no,
existed at any point in
I
history.
think you see, once again you're picking apart things, and I can go into why what he said is legitimate
Because he
even
says like
though
20
at 20.
things.
Okay, so you said what
Which
you
are
said,
facts.
Ethan. You're up. Ethan,
Not
you're up.
facts.
You're up.
You're delusional.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
liar,
real
dude.
quick.
You're
Why
delusional.
is Gather
Okay, so
so
hold on a
triggered?
second. Wait a minute.
Why
You
is he
guys didn't even
triggered?
call.
Did you
Okay,
ask
wait
him,
a
Jim?
minute.
Why is
Just
he triggered?
hold it, Nitya, please. Ethan, you're up.
Yeah, real quick. Just for the record, Gather, I was a Bernie bro in 16. I worked on his campaign as a field organizer. I worked in 20 on his campaign. I ended up voting for Trump in both 16 and 20, but I voted for Obama in 12. So I'm not saying that like I'm against Democrats as a unit. I'm against the uniparty as a unit. And I think there's Republicans that are part of that uniparty as well. But what I will say, and I'll end it with this, is when people say Democrats are out of touch, it's people like Billie Eilish who are endorsing Kamala. And Billie Eilish said in an interview not even that long ago that someone asked her, is like, hey, is $70 for a box of cereal too much? And she's like, no. And it's like, that's what they mean when they say out of touch. It's like they're so cocooned in like their own little sphere that they don't even have a grasp on reality. When someone asks Billie Eilish, is $70 for a box of Kellogg's too much? The obvious answer should be yes, but she doesn't even know. And like that's just one small example across a wide spectrum of influencers and Hollywood elite that kind of were propping up the democratic system. So again, I'm not against Democrats as a unit. I like RFK, I like Tulsi, I like a bunch of Democrats, but I think we just need to acknowledge there is a machine.
First off, I'm not delusional, dude. Okay, I'm not delusional at all. Please don't call me that. Secondly, the Democrat Party created the KKK.
Oh my fucking god.
That's true. I just looked it up. That's
I'm not
exactly
entirely
true.
sure why the hell you're laughing.
Because you're
Don't.
delusional.
He can say that, Angelo.
You
It's not.
can't handle facts.
I don't
is
mind
right,
him.
is wrong.
It's totally
At
fine
all.
for Gather to say that, Angelo. But you keep talking, Angelo. Just it's your turn. Keep talking. Gather can say you're delusional. It's fine. That's what he thinks.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
the
Angelo.
one
Keep
who
talking.
is crying on TikTok and getting ticked off because someone
Angelo,
won
do you
a
mind?
fair election.
Angelo, could I ask you to stay on the KKK thing because I think
Yes,
that's a very good
yes,
point.
yes,
The
yes.
Democrats, when I was just reading about
Abraham
the
Lincoln,
Go ahead. Yeah,
freed the slaves. Okay, he did. He did. He was a
he did
Republican.
what? I didn't hear that. He did
He
what?
freed the slaves. The slaves. The slaves.
Yes.
He did. That's
Yeah.
fact. Okay.
Mhm.
Republicans didn't create the KKK. All right. Um, and it's just extremely nauseating to me actually that, like I said, I don't appreciate the fact that you called me delusional. I'm sorry. I'm not delusional. I'm not. I'm
Okay,
actually.
but let's get off the name calling because it doesn't go anywhere. He thinks you're delusional. There's nothing. You're not going to change his mind. So just present facts. Like the KKK. I want to go lead off on this. The KKK. I just
Yep,
was just reading it from Grok. Tell me
go
if
ahead.
I'm wrong. The KKK. The KKK was established by Confederates, and they were Democrats,
Hmm.
and the reason why is because they didn't want the civil liberties of the blacks to move forward. What do you have
Hmm.
to say about that, Gather?
Yep.
Yeah, let's say I do grant that. Who do you think? Which members of which party do you think are more likely to align with the KKK now versus then?
Absolutely, the Democrat Party is no
Absolutely
doubt in my
not. Why
mind.
do you think the KKK endorsed Trump?
They didn't.
They did.
Say what?
Okay, if they
No.
did, wait a minute, he's probably right. If the KKK endorsed Trump, it's because they're stupid. That's not Trump's fault. That's not Trump's fault.
So why would the organization that you're claiming is this hateful, disgusting group
Well,
that was created
who
by?
endorsed the KK? Who endorsed? Just so I can look this up while you're talking, Gather. Who was it, or what's the name of the guy? Because I mean, Joe Biden gave a eulogy at Robert Byrd's funeral. Hillary Clinton has ties to Robert Byrd. They were both grandmasters in the KKK, and this is
Yep.
recently. But I'm just wondering who endorsed Trump from the KKK, or who was speaking out. Since you mentioned it.
I see that there's the article specifically from NPR. You can look at Reuters. You can look at Newsweek. You can just look up Trump or KKK Trump endorsement, like any of those.
All right, I'll look it up.
I believe it's very plausible that some of the KKK guys would think Trump is a white national racist, and therefore they would endorse him. But that's not Trump's fault, Gather.
It's not Trump's fault at all. Trump
See
didn't make.
what Ethan is saying, that Hillary and who else was it beside Ethan? Hillary and who else?
Joe Biden. They
So
both
Joe Biden, he's saying it's one
both
thing
discussed
for
Robert Byrd.
yeah, so it's one thing for a KKK to endorse Trump, but did Trump ever endorse any KKKs like Hillary and Biden? That's the question, Gather, and the answer
I
is
know
no.
that he was openly buddies with and had dinner with Ye, who is openly anti-Semitic, who also brought along Nick
I'm a
Fuentes, who is
Jew.
also.
Ye is not.
I don't
I'm
give a fuck if you're
Ye
a
is
Jew,
not.
dude. This identity.
Yeah,
This is the
Ye is not
identity politics.
anti-Semitic.
This
Yeah,
is the
hold on,
identity
hold on,
politics
hold
that
on.
I'm
So
talking
how
about.
can
That
you say
Republicans
he's
constantly
anti-Semitic?
deploy.
I'm
Oh
just
my.
wondering
Here,
how can
hold
you
on.
say he's anti-Semitic as me as a Jew? You're like, hey, he's mean to Jews. I'm like, I'm a Jew. He's not
Oh,
mean, and you're like, fuck you. You don't count. It's like, what the fuck?
if I'm black, oh my, kill yourself, Jim. Kill yourself. Kill
Good
yourself.
language, guys.
I want to come
Just
Sorry.
Wait. If I'm
Nitya.
black, and I'm like, oh well, the KKK that was created by the Democrats back then is totally irrelevant because I'm black and I don't feel hated by it. How is that a destruction of your point whatsoever?
Can I come in here, please, Gather? I actually want to have.
Nitya, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to have a very, very honest conversation, very genuine conversation here when you say anti Semitic. Let's talk about this anti Semitism here. Let's talk about the fact that who's the uh, actual head of the Cobra in the Middle East?
Head
Dog,
of
I don't
what?
know what the fuck or what the hell
Head
the
of
head
the
of the Cobra
Cobra
is
in the
besides
Middle
like
East.
GI
Who
Joe
is
or
the
whatever you're
head of the.
talking about.
No, Gatherer, don't get triggered. Can we all just calm down? Can you
I'm
calm
so
down?
triggered. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Good.
sorry.
Take a
Yes,
deep breath,
queen. Yes,
Gather.
queen. Please go on, please.
Gather,
The
take a
floor
deep
is yours,
breath.
my queen.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
wait a
you.
minute, guys. Nitya, stop talking. Stop to say. Don't be triggered. Don't say that because that's a
So
trigger
Jim,
punch right there.
Jim, I have a
Just speak to
question
the
for
facts.
you.
Go ahead.
I have
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
question for
Nitya.
you.
Sure.
When Gather told me an hour ago to not be triggered, you did not tell him not to say that.
Okay, so
That the
I'm going to
fact.
tell him
No, no,
right
one
now. Hold
second,
on,
Jim.
Because I'm
Gather,
Nitya.
based.
I'm
I
going to tell
said
him.
now to him. Yeah.
Okay, Nitya, hold on a second. Gather. Let's not. Don't please use good language and don't.
Calm down.
Let's not do. Let's try to just stick
Okay.
to facts. So I want to hear what you said about this guy in the Middle East. What was
Yeah.
the name? Say that
Yeah.
again.
So let me say, the head of the Cobra in the Middle East is Iran. Iran was completely sucked off any oxygen, and literally left to die by Trump when he was in office. Okay? So the Middle East was not just Middle East, every area around was peaceful. There were no wars for 4 years. Let's first of all acknowledge facts. Let's not talk
That's not
rhetorics
true at
all the
all.
time. Let's once again gather. I said take a deep breath. Deep breath is still going
No,
on. Okay? Yeah.
not that part.
Yeah.
Just stay
Yeah.
away from that part. Just
So
keep going,
yeah.
Nitya. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay. Let me make my point here. So the point is, the minute Trump left office, who the hell started fueling Iran with the kind of crazy money that started going to them, that they not only started rebuilding and finishing their nuclear program, but they fucking started funding the
Good
Hezbollah.
language. Good
Okay,
language. Good
sorry,
language.
sorry, I
It's
retract
all right.
that.
It's
Okay,
okay. No big deal. No big
expunge
deal.
it, expunge it. All right. So, so they started funding Hezbollah, funding Hamas. I will go down, with entire credibility of my existence, saying October 7 would not have happened had this government, this corrupt government that funded Iran, which in turn gave the entire confidence and the funding and the strength for Hamas to do the genocide what they did to Israel on October 7th. October 7 would not have happened if this government, current last 4 years government, had not come in power, and if they had not absolutely refueled Iran and brought them back to health and given them the money. So this is a huge problem that you cannot escape it.
Okay.
They have
Okay,
blood
hold
in their
on,
hands.
Nitya.
They have
Nitya,
genocide in their hands.
I totally agree with your point now. And now I'm going to change it up here big time, because here's a problem that's going on here. I open the spaces for Gather and myself and others to open up and talk about certain things, and we've done that for quite a while, like an hour or more. And now here I see a problem happening in that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us here, and then on one side of things and Gather's on the other. But the thing is, what's happening is we're talking and then Gather talks, then we're talking. He's getting more than 1/8 of the time. He's getting half the time practically, or not really half the time. No, he's getting about maybe a third of the time. And it's too much because he's staunchly against us. So Gather, I want you to go ahead, and I'm going to give Gather like 2-3 minutes to just give because he's getting all kinds of stuff thrown to him, and it's very hard for him to present facts at it. So I'm going to give him like 3 full minutes, as long as you want, really, to give your points of view, and then I'm going to step you down as listener, so the rest of us can do what we really want to do, and that is to plan for the future with Trump's team. Go ahead, Gather.
Yeah, I don't know what any of the Iran stuff was relevant whatsoever to the anti-Semitic stuff whatsoever at all. And if you want to talk about the funding to Iran, that was probably the inevitable cause for the October 7th. I would probably dispute that. My Middle Eastern geography or my understanding of the geopolitics in that region is very, very iffy, but I would probably say that a big partial reason for that is the dealings of the Abraham Accords between Israel and the UAE, and then intentionally leaving out the Palestinians from having any sort of say whatsoever in those accords. Whenever it comes to the peace treaty agreement, that was like stoking tensions over and over and over and over. Probably the acknowledgement of Jerusalem was also kind of a not so good move on the part of, again, leaving the Palestinians absent out of that discussion overall, again, leading to more tension, stoking the flames. I don't know how that, again, is relevant to the anti-Semitic thing versus the candidate that has literally said that Jews and black people need to have their brains checked if he were to lose the election, which is already a kind of like a dicey statement. And then you talk about Billie Eilish being out of touch or whatever for whatever reason, when you have the head of the Republican Party that is literally a billionaire from New York being backed by and funded by the world's richest man. I don't know how you can talk about out of touch whenever those are simultaneous things that are going on. The cognitive dissonance is absolutely wild. And then once again, you're not going to find, if you want to operate in reality, or you want to talk about facts, or you want to talk about like being triggered or whatever, Angelo, you still have not acknowledged that nowhere at any point in history has a 24-year-old ever been able to purchase a home, or that it's been common. Point to me any stats, anything, any figures whatsoever. You won't, because you can't.
Dude,
Now, Angelo, wait a minute. Angelo, no, not right now. Angelo, you're going to be with us for a long time. This is Gather's last 3 minutes. Keep going, Gather. I want you to just vent and get, because a lot of points were thrown at you. I want your full time to counter everything. And then I'm going to bring you down to listener. And then, guys, we're going to be able to talk for a long time. And it's not going to be focused on hammering Gather, because of the fact that he came in here and he, in my opinion, like Vivek Ramaswamy says, by him countering us, it's going to make our zeal for truth stronger, and I hope it does the same for him. So he's going to Gather. Keep going, brother.
Yeah, and I'm totally down to have specific conversations about specific things instead of going to diatribes every like second that somebody else speaks. But like we just don't live in like the same reality. Like you can't cry about the Biden economy and not be able to afford a house at 24 right out of college, whenever no point in history has that ever been the case. And then earlier there was a comment saying how like Democrats say Republicans can't even question the election or the integrity of the election last time. The issue is that you did question it with no basis whatsoever. 64 court cases taken to court, and most of them thrown out without standing, and shown to federal or shown to judges that were appointed by and endorsed by Trump. You also had Rudy Giuliani that was being sued for defamation against I was like Ruby Friedman or whatever, in Georgia, I believe, because he knowingly lied about the ballots that were being quote unquote hidden away. Now he's bankrupt. Now he's being sued for, I forgot how much money exactly. I think it's over $100-something million. And now he's been disbarred from practicing law because it's such a disgraceful act to go up there and then to present your case against the judge and say that it was actually your First Amendment right to lie. And that was the justification for why you could do it. And the other thing is that like the Fox News stuff from earlier, like you have this, everything that you guys accuse CNN or any other liberal quote unquote organization of being, Fox News is that 10 times over. If they're being sued for nearly $800 million with executives, with Tucker Carlson, who is no longer a part of that whatsoever, is openly admitting, being like, hey, we need to stop. This is ridiculous how Sidney Powell, Trump's personal attorney, is lying about this stuff with no evidence whatsoever being presented, and then you have that lie being perpetuated over and over again because they're losing viewership to other organizations, to other media organizations that are willing to suck off Trump endlessly to try and like beg and plead for whatever like forgiveness or whatever hope that they can retain like relevancy from him whatsoever. Yeah, like Trump will like openly talk bad about Elon and saying how they had a meeting or whatever, and he disagrees with him about the EVs, but he can ask Elon to get on his hands and knees, and Elon will do it. That's how pathetic he is. Whenever Trump constantly nags and talks about how Fox News needs to have their media license revoked because they're reporting poorly on him or reporting too much on the other side. And then they constantly keep going back and back and back and back to just try and suck any relevancy whatsoever so that they don't lose that viewership. It's absolutely pathetic. And then nobody wants to go into the actual facts about it. Nobody actually wants to go into the engagement with it. And then nobody wants to acknowledge reality with it whatsoever. It's just gish galloping to one topic, to another topic, to another topic, to another topic, over and over and over.
Yeah, we just lost you, Gather. You just cut. Oh, you muted yourself. So Gather, unmute yourself and are you done? I want to make sure that you don't want to share more. You're making several good points here, actually, that I agree with, even though I disagree with many.
I think I'm basically done, but like it's just nobody wants to go into it whatsoever.
Yeah. So okay. So okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and drop Gather down as a.
I'm about to get so triggered. I'm about to be so triggered.
Okay. Ethan, how do I drop down Gather to a listener?
They're gonna start talking shit as soon as I go to listener.
Don't I just push on his
no, you just
icon?
press on him, and then you can actually drop him down. But then you can also keep him here. It's okay. He's not talking.
No, wait a minute, Nitya.
Did he cut out? What's happening, dude? Jesus. Lori, do you remember Kyle?
Is anyone talking? I can't hear anyone.
I'm not hearing anyone.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Finally now, yes, yeah. I was
Okay,
wondering. No one's talking. Yeah.
Okay, Gatherer, can you speak, Gatherer, for just a second?
Speaking.
Okay. Thank you, Gather. Okay, so Gather, one thing before I drop Gather down, I want everybody to know when Gather and I speak one-on-one, he's amazingly more I don't know. Everything I respect about him comes out shining much more when I speak to him one-on-one, and he's willing to go down any rabbit hole I want to and look at the facts. And as soon as he can get to something where he and I can agree on things, he's not nearly as his goodness, the goodness that he does have is not nearly as good when a bunch of people are throwing stuff at him in once. And it seems like we get nowhere in this kind of atmosphere. So I can see from this
To be clear, we get nowhere
it's good
because
for
of
us
these
to
people.
do this for a while, because Gatherer can bring up a lot of points that what he's doing that I like, you guys, is he's pointing out a lot of good points as far as if we want to get our act together in every perfect way, we should take the advice of anybody, even if we totally disagree with him on a bunch of stuff, and see if there's value in what he's saying and clean up our act in that area so we can shine even brighter. And so, Gatherer, thank you for the service you've done for us in that respect, even though obviously all of us are on the other side of the game than you are. And so thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and drop Gatherer down, and let's see, remove from speakers. Okay, so remove and drop Gatherer down, and let's see.
All right, we'll see if they should talk.
From speakers. Okay, so remove from speakers, and then guys, we are here.
I don't know if you guys see. I think you see this guy. This guy is retarded.
Definitely come in and say that we are very capable of owning the mistakes on our side.
You're not.
Like, you absolutely stepped up and took onus of Tucker Carlson's and the entire lawsuit and everything. And I say the press conference of Rudy Giuliani, for that matter, that happened after the election last time, was obnoxious. That was ridiculous.
It was a lie.
So Nitya, I'm going to let you speak, and I'm going to pause you just for a second because I forgot Nisha. She hasn't been introduced yet. Nisha, you please introduce yourself.
Friend. I can tell you that, Jim. Nisha's a very dear friend of mine. So yes.
Beautiful. So we're going to get back to Nisha, but first I'm going to allow Elite, first Nisha, and then Elite. We have two new speakers, and then we'll get right back to your train of thought, Nitya. Nisha, come on board. Give us a little bit about your background and why, and give us just a quick summary of your perspective, whether it's for Trump or against, and why. Please introduce yourself. Nitya, you would have to unmute your speaker if you're there. She might be out cooking or back in the background and just have this on. So sometimes, Nitya, are you there? Nisha, are you there?
Here, but I thought you want Nisha to speak. Yeah. So Nisha is a dear friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to say Nisha. Nisha, if you could introduce yourself, please. Unmute.
It's so fucking God. It's so blackpilling because she's like simultaneously saying, oh yeah, Kyle. I don't know how you say his last name. Bouzier. I know he's like a wrestler guy now, but this is it's Trust, right? That's how you say your last name? I think it's your last name. I don't know, I don't see it very much. But it's so frustrating how she's simultaneously saying like, oh, it's so... See, our side is so willing to take accountability, and Jim, you took accountability with the Tucker Carlson thing, but with the Rudy Giuliani thing specifically, that was just outrageous. And it's like, that's not taking accountability whatsoever. How are you supposed to prosecute the shit with no evidence prior to the election? You say after the election as if that's any meaningful difference whatsoever. And then the evidence is presented afterwards. The defamation is presented afterwards. The liability is presented afterwards. That's not being held accountable if you just avoid not going to trial and not being held responsible legally whatsoever. God. Is it Trost? Trost? I love this guy. He's a cutie pie. He's so smart. He's a...
Vice President Harris will swear in.
He's a lawyer.
President-elect. Former president, future president, your commander-in-chief. Hold that in. Think about that.
Hold it in.
Insurrectionist. A traitor.
Yep.
They respect and love this concept. You know, we're about to criticize them a lot. So they need this and they deserve this. But we're going to get pretty harsh in a bit. But just to be clear about the moral difference here.
Trost.
They are going to gavel in as your commander-in-chief, as your president. a traitor.
Yeah, I wish there was like, I wish I knew this stupid shit offhand, but I have to go through so many like articles and source material to begin to know what the fuck they're talking about. With the Tulsi Gabbard thing, I don't know a ton about it offhand. But I know there's like some fuck shit happening with her and Putin. Where was it? I can't even read this. I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. These traitors are so fucking disgusting. They're such Putin simps. And they're actively going against the democracy of America. To have so much influence that is just now denied by Republicans, they just call it the Russian hoax. And it's like nobody's saying Hillary lost because of Russia. They're saying that there was meddling going on to create and spread propaganda to make more divisiveness between the American people, due to the Russian propaganda and the stuff that is being said of it. Yeah, like the Facebook ads that were purchased in 2016. I don't know offhand about the 2020 stuff. If there was 2020 stuff, the Trump stuff alone is like mega fucked up. And in 2024, you had a recent Department of Justice unsealing of a document that outlined Russia Today, which is Russia-funded media that is paying a Tennessee media organization domestically to pay off these pundits and repost their videos to a centralized tenant media channel to spread more divisiveness and insecurity within the voting population. It is ridiculous how it's outright denied, but then we're stuck on Hunter Biden's laptop story and how there was supposedly a study done to show that that would have overturned the results of the last election or potentially overturned it. Even though there was no government involvement whatsoever. Biden and Harris weren't even in office at the time of the laptop story happening. And it was reversed in 24 hours. It's, oh my God, bro. They're delusional. That fucking retard, whatever his name is delusional. To cry about how I can't afford a fucking house at 24 years old after I graduate college. Oh my God. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, the average median age of a first-time homeowner is like 35 to 40. Like, you're not even applicable in any way whatsoever. Like, build your career up for a decade and then talk to me, you fucking loser. Holy shit. God. So tired of seeing them on grandma's TV. Yeah, your grandma seems crazy. Fox News did to our older family members what they said. Exactly. That's why I've been telling people, is the same generation that warns us about not believing everything on the internet and then not believing the AI stuff and how everything's going to be deepfaked are the same people that fall for that stupid shit. And there needs to be repercussions. They need to be ostracized in some aspect. Yeah, the brainwashing channel. Yeah, no valid argument. And I'm not even like being like facetious at all whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. Like, for them to be like, oh, what they say? They're implying or outright saying that I was dishonest. And how I kept going back to the fact that the delegates in the DNC were backing Kamala entirely and not even showcasing any support for another Democrat or another Democratic candidate. And then comparing that to Trump's elector scheme doesn't make sense. They're not equivalent. One's a private organization and one's a federal election for the president of the United States that's enshrined in the Constitution. There's a little bit of a difference there. Still can't get over what I'm saying. I wish I was out of my family's house, buddy. Yeah. Privilege. Let me actually show you real quick. Harris backed by delegates. Yeah, they never gave me the chance. I would be interrupted. They would never respond to what I said. I had to keep asking. And then they would move on to something else from somebody else, and then go down that line, and then just rinse and repeat. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this. Prominent Democratic elected officials, party leaders, and political organizations quickly lined up behind Harris in the day after Biden's exit from the race, and her campaign set a new 24-hour record for presidential donations on Monday. Several state delegations met late Monday to confirm their support for Harris, including Texas and her home state of California. By Monday night, Harris had the support of well more than 1976 delegates, or than the 1976 delegates she'll need to win on the first ballot, according to the AP tally. No other candidate was named by a delegate contacted by the AP. So delegates are basically, they're like kind of like representatives from the state that back the private parties. Let me actually look up election DNC. I want to try again like an actual definition. Delegates are simply people who represent their states or districts at their party's national convention. They can be individuals that can be what? Sorry, this sentence is a mindfuck. These individuals can be affiliated with the Democratic or Republican political party and often include party leaders, activists, and volunteers. Democrats have about 3,900 voting delegates for the first ballot at the convention and more than 4,600 for a subsequent round of voting if necessary. On the other hand, Republicans had 2,429 delegates voting at the convention. So these are the people that essentially back the candidates in order to push them forward through the process of getting them to represent your party. So here's the survey. She needed 1,976 delegates to win the first ballot to be able to qualify. She got 3,359. And then there are 39 undecided. Notice how there are no other propositions or recommendations for any other candidate. It's just Kamala Harris within the day, which, by the way, was 100 days prior to the election, which is not that unreasonable for Biden to drop out, her immediately volunteer herself, and the delegates that back the Biden-Harris campaign to back Harris and her campaign, because it's so close to the election. Like, she has 3 months to campaign on. It's politically the most effective. Like, she's the incumbent. She's coming from the previous administration into this one. She's going to have access to the war chest or whatever the fuck it's called to be able to have the funds for her campaign, along with the donations and everything. And she's already a recognizable name that's been a part of the administration and is able to have the insider knowledge of how Biden read everything. It's insane to have this brought up and to be considered a coup, which is short for a coup d'etat, which is essentially an attempt to overthrow, let me look it up specifically, a sudden, violent, and unlawful seizure of government of power from a government, a coup. So this is a little bit different than what they would consider it. There's a self-coup d'etat. Is a form of coup d'etat in which a nation's head, having come to power through legal means, stays in power through illegal means. That is what they say that Kamala Harris did, while completely ignoring or not even knowing the details of the fake electorate scheme that Trump presented in the last election. That's why I brought it up to them. And all three of them, surprisingly, even that Ethan dude, I think he was like fairly knowledgeable and like really niche shit. For them to be like, oh, well, if that was if that was the case that happened, then I would condemn it. And it's like, that is what happened for one, but let's say I grant you that. That's illegal. It goes against the ECA, and it qualifies for the self-coup 10 times over what this legal and accessible process is allowed to do for the Democrats at their own convention. Like, this is well within the rights of a private party versus the person that is undermining the voters by attempting to enact fake voters so that he can remain in power in the federal position in the government that is protected and enshrined by the Constitution of the United States as the President of the United States. It's fucking disgusting. It's dishonest. It's retarded, and it should be shamed. These people need to be screamed at. Yeah, it's so fucking mind-boggling. I don't. She was very much qualified, and they were reaching so hard with elder. Yeah, the elder abuse. The speculation is so retarded. Again, it wouldn't apply anything whatsoever to anything that they see or want to talk about with Trump. Like when Trump is walking to that garbage truck, and he tries to open the door and he slips. Like, oof. That looks like cognitive decline. He kind of like slipped over a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if you remember back in 2016 when Hillary was like, she was like falling or something. Oh my god, kill yourself. Maybe this one? Ugh. Why? Let me switch accounts. Oh. Like right here? Like she's obviously not not feeling well, but to like say that she's unqualified due to that alone is it's yeah. But yeah, Harris is very arguably more, well, not even arguably, she definitely is more qualified than Trump is 10 times over. She elected AG twice, senator, current vice president, now has experience on the campaign trail to run for president, and she was the DA. And then Trump is a failed billionaire businessman from New York that raped a woman. And yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how he won. I don't know how they won the House. I don't know how they won the Senate. I don't know how he has 3 Supreme Court justices in there right now that grant him criminal immunity, and he's not facing consequences whatsoever anymore at all, because Jack Smith is now attempting to remove his case because it's going to be shot down regardless whenever Trump gets elected. Like Trump could have gotten fucked for that January 6th stuff, and now he's not, because even if the Jack Smith the stuff did go through, he can pardon himself and face no consequences whatsoever for inciting an insurrection on the Capitol, for one, for 2, knowingly lying and peddling conspiracies, and for 3, the fake electors scheme that he and his private lawyers initiated and engaged in. It's
I'm going to try to steal.
Why did this
This is to me. People might take that differently. Is to stop the what I consider to be the cancer of MAGAism, pushed by the MAGA elite, the post-fact
Oh, I guess he's still
type situation, the lies, the authoritarianism, and to get some common sense agreements that everyone can sort of build upon with more sane interlocutors, Republicans. He failed. He failed at that. He was unable to do it.
Oh shit. This is the clip that hold on. Yeah. I had this feeling, and I think I need to start announcing my beliefs before I see anybody else see it or say it. I've done it a couple times to other people, but Destiny was saying, yeah, please, Christians, you just have to go out and vote. I promise you won't have to vote again this in the next election. I promise. Like, imagine if Biden said that. They would be talking about the deep state and Hillary and adrenochrome and baby abortions being done on like 11-month-olds and then being taken out and then fucking their spines snapped in half and then fed to a velociraptor that is actually Nancy Pelosi just shape-shifting, and it doesn't make sense. It's, yeah. But Destiny said it, and I totally agree. They don't have any policy or genuine understanding for why they vote for who they do or why they do. Like, Biden probably got elected last time because the end of COVID or the end of Trump's presidency was when COVID happened. People felt like shit under him, so they vote for the other person. The second thing, people have this impression that the economy is in the tank right now, and that we're and that inflation is still ridiculously high or whatever, even though it's not. They just have a negative view on the economy, and they think that they were better under Trump. So, where is it?
Wow.
This one's so
Do you
good.
have a moment of self-awareness where you just go in the mirror, wow, I was so wrong?
Do you think that the Republicans had a moment of self-awareness in 2020? I look at the figures as they come in. I try to analyze
This guy is so fucking smug. I hate him. God, look at this.
what the public is. But this idea that like the Democratic Party needs to do some huge soul searching after the Republicans, tried to coup their way back into office when they lost the last election. Nah, I think that's ridiculous. I think the double standard is ridiculous. I think that the passes that you guys give Trump are
They're not going to complain about the economy because Biden actually implemented policies that would positively impact the economy. So now the real wage growth is higher than it's been. More manufacturing jobs have been brought back and higher than it's been. We produce more energy than ever before. Inflation, I think is at like, or not inflation, but the God, what is it? It might be inflation. I think it's at like 2% right now. The Chips and Science Act that allows America to produce domestically chips instead of outsourcing them to other countries. Like, Biden's administration is going to implement all of those, and then Trump is going to come in and then reap the benefits of all of the stuff that he did. So it's
absolutely insane. I think at the end of the day, it's just voting on your general economic trends. The only tragic thing is that because the economy has been righted in such a positive way, and nobody knows it because nobody talks about it, but the United States is outperforming basically every other country in the world on metrics like inflation, on metrics like unemployment, on metrics like real wages. Now that the ship has been righted, we're in a situation again where thankfully a Republican can come in after a Democrat has, I complained about this before on your show, after a Democrat has righted the ship after an economic catastrophe.
Yeah, he's bringing it up right now. So
Trump did it after Obama, and now Trump is going to do it again after Biden. And now he can try to take credit for all the things that he wasn't able to do in his administration, right? He couldn't pass infrastructure. Biden did. Now when stuff is getting built, he's going to take credit for it. He couldn't bring manufacturing like chips back to the United States when he tried to tariff China. Biden did with the CHIPS Act. Now Trump could take credit for it as that stuff gets built. So, you know, the cycle of politics continues.
insane.
Do you have a moment of self-awareness? When you get a result like this, Destiny, notwithstanding your chilling self-confidence, which I obviously admire as a trait, do you have a moment of self-awareness where you just go in the mirror, wow, I was so wrong?
Do you think that the Republicans had a moment of self-awareness in 2020?
Well, it wasn't the question. I just wonder whether you had a moment of self-awareness.
Econ question.
When you get a result like this, Destiny, notwithstanding your chilling self-confidence, which
hold on, I wanted Lori and you to see this.
Is allowed to do something, and there's not a punishment for it.
Or I think
then
I
they're going
sent
to continue
you
to do
this
that behavior,
partially.
especially if they reap something positive for it. And one of the most frustrating things about the upcoming Trump presidency is, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, I don't care how you say I'm delusional, out of touch. Biden and this administration did a phenomenal job at righting the ship on this economy. We are outperforming every other economy in the world when it comes to metrics like inflation. Bro, you want to talk about hire? Dan is a small business computer guy over here. You want to hire a computer programmer? You go to the United Kingdom. These guys make like fucking 35,000 quid a year, okay? The United States is in an amazing spot compared to the rest of the world. However, we're not allowed to take credit for it because there is no, at the end of the day, there's no factual reduction to anything that's being said or to anything that's happening. Like, Trump is allowed to get on stage and simultaneously say things like, aren't you happier now than you were, or weren't you happier 4 years ago? Despite the fact that we were living in lockdown, and they weren't happy 4 years ago. That's why they voted him out of office.
Garbage bags.
Yeah, there is no,
per day.
yeah, so
buried in mass graves in this country.
there's absolutely zero accountability on the Republican side, and I think that there are other issues that I feel strongly about, especially you see me scream about things probably on stream. I feel strongly about misinformation, I feel strongly about policy, I feel strongly about immigration and foreign policy, blah, 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 blah. All of that, though, is downstream, I think, from the lack of accountability. Like, how many fucking times, I know you've heard, how many fucking times has a Republican come up to you and talked about Joe Biden calling all Republicans MAGA Republicans?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations.
By the way, notice how he's saying MAGA Republicans, specifying a group of people, not all Republicans like they claim. I mean, I don't know if Lori's still here or not, but it's like the thing you're talking about earlier whenever you were talking about the hecklers at Kamala's rally about how they're claiming that they were anti-religious or anti-Christian or anti-Jesus because she said that they're at the wrong rally. It's taken and misinterpreted, and then in lockstep with every fucking person in that party or demographic, they all say the same thing about how she's like a demon. I mean, I think Trump explicitly called her a demon, so.
Of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that would be then.
front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans.
Dude, he fucking specifies it. God, I forgot he did that in that clip. Holy shit.
Using the word deplorables, right?
To just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Half of Trump supporters.
Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
By the way, Lori, your last chat went through.
And unfortunately, there are people like that.
How many, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, how many of these people have written full articles about how they would never vote for Donald Trump? And they're some of his biggest blazers today, right? It was Ben Shapiro first, who on January 7th.
Cruz getting his wife fucking dominated in an insurrection.
It was Ben Shapiro who, before I did, called it, and this was an insurrection. Nobody, I don't know anybody think he was using that term. And Ben Shapiro came out and said this was an insurrection. We have to be honest.
So I guess the synopsis of today's show is that everything is terrible. That's the synopsis. But what we saw yesterday is inexcusable, unjustifiable, awful on every level, disgusting on every level. Just terrible, terrible. When you have rioters taking over the U.S. Capitol building, the seat of American democracy, and when you have those rioters saying that they are doing so in the name of the President of the United States, and when you have them doing that to the legislative branch of the government, when you have those people, they are rioters, they are not protesters, okay? As soon as you commit an act of vandalism or violence, you are no longer in the category of protester, you are now a rioter. And unlike some folks who have justified riots based on the perspective of the rioters, if you're a criminal, you're a criminal, and you should go to jail. You should go to jail. And this was an attempted act of insurrection. I mean, technically speaking, that's what it was, considering that the reason that this happened...
Dude. And now he backtracks it. God.
...is because Congress was simply there doing their constitutional duty and tabulating the state-certified electoral count. Okay, that's all they were doing.
It's fueled on so much ignorance to say inflation is so bad when it's the lowest it's been, but the corporations have taken advantage of the COVID prices to keep up with demand to keep them high. They're allergic to research. Only quote unquote research they do is on Facebook. I mean, it's true. It do be true. Or on TikTok and really like niche, like random accounts where it's like God's strongest soldier 1776, and then they have like no profile picture and they get deleted 2 weeks later.
They do not have the power. Congress does not have the power, as I've been saying all week long. Congress does not, and never did, have the power to simply overturn state electoral college certified results. That is not a legal thing for them to do.
See? And his defense now is that he grades Ben Shapiro on a curve, or Donald Trump on a curve. So that's partially his justification for it. And the other justification is that the guardrails held. But now you have majority House, majority Senate, potentially 5 Supreme Court justice picks. You have the presidency. How much can it really hold at a certain point? I gotta hop off. I think the cake Jesse brought home all my time messed me up. Damn, Jessa. What the fuck?
Vice President Pence did not have that power. Congress did not have that power. It was
Yeah,
not going to happen.
have a good one, Lori. Thanks for
Anyway,
stopping
even if they
in.
thought they had that power because Democrats control the House of Representatives. So all of that was tomfoolery. It was nonsense. And folks who believed that it wasn't nonsense and decided that they were going to commit an evil act, it was an evil act to invade the seat of...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they were barking at me. I made them bark. They're my dogs. They're my bitches. Fuck them. Are they even live anymore?
Deep state expert. Elon Musk is another guy who loves Mike Ben. So Mike Ben is fully supporting everything you're saying, and not only that, he tells you exactly how this happened. How is it that all of these authors? How is it that all of these universities are just?
How is this acceptable?
Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration.
How is this allowed? This standard? For her going after a completely reasonable case against the person that committed the crime, then you have his personal lawyers saying they're going to put her fat ass in jail if she continues to pursue it. And then you have this loser fucking, like, Putin's fleshlight right here, his personal little fleshlight, probably like the smallest one possible, that doesn't get used that often, and gets set aside and has to watch the other fleshlights like Lauren Chen or Donald Trump get used before him. You have him over here, like, trying so hard not to smile after he gets exposed for being paid Russian money, like a fucking loser shill, who also got, I'm pretty sure this is like an InfoWars loser, got sued for defamation about lying about the fucking Sandy Hook shooting. And I think he was actively at the January 6th stuff. It's God, it's insane. This is what I mean. They deserve no sympathy. Yeah, they deserve no sympathy. They're the same ones that come out now and they're saying, hey, God, this triggers the fuck out of me. They're like, hey, you guys shouldn't really destroy friendships over politics. That's not useful. You should be nice to each other and blah blah blah. Who gives a fuck? They're not willing to do that the same stuff to us. So why should I grant that same charity to them? It just makes no sense. Absolutely bonkers. I want to see what this is. Why is there an error occurring? Oh.
But she's gonna have to be in a hot tub, and I'm gonna have to be dressed up in a suit, and I'll have to be remotely, and it's gonna be very strange for everyone. I tweeted it. I don't care. They're fucking bad people. Anyone that supports him, Hassan, or Clancy, part of the fucking problem, okay? Anyone who makes this, like, cool and invites Hassan onto his little fucking stream, like, oh, guys, let's all hang out. Nah. No. That shit's fucking over, okay? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is unexcusable, this fucking chat that you're looking at right here. It is not excusable. There is no excuse to this. This is his community, and if you associate with this motherfucker...
I'm gonna turn this stuff on here. And I really want to try, hopefully this works. Hold on. Fuck. How do I... Settings. Audio. Dude, shut up. I couldn't get past the first level, so I gave up. However... Oh! 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 You think I can do this? Oh! Oh! Wait, why'd you send me that screenshot? Oh! No! Fuck! Oh, okay. Where's Icarus? Fuck you. I definitely have that one in the bag though. Hold on. Watch this. Oops. Give me that. Give me that. Okay. Okay, sick. Alright, watch this. Ah! Ah! No, 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 no! Where do I use this on? This one! Ah! Ah! What? No, no, stop, stop. I don't know what was sick about it. Stop! Jeez, sorry. Okay. Trust me. I'm gonna do this the right way. Watch this, watch this. We're gonna do this. And shove that shit in there. Wait. Jiggle it. Perfect. Beautiful. Ah! Can't I, like, hostage these guys? Get down, bitch. Ah! I didn't mean to shoot that. Yeah, bitch. Fuck you. Can I grab them? Okay, listen. It runs better than Hitman, okay? That's all I gotta say. Does this just go up? I forgot how to open those doors. I bet they do have a Roblox Hitman. I saw they have some pretty crazy FPS shooters on Roblox, to be fair. Oh! Who's opening doors? Huh. Huh. Oh shit! Oh! Fuck! 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 Are you kidding me? Why? I have to do this. I'm gonna be mad if I fuck it up. I'll try this one again. I suppose. But I have to. Woo! Oh, why? Why did I do that? Why? Ah! Oh, fuck. God, dude. Fuck this game. Fuck you. Fuck you all. Kill yourself. Die. Fuck you all. I didn't think I had enough time to do it either. But, now that I know... Hold on. Now that I know... I'm gonna do this. And this. Shit. Turn. All right. He's gonna turn now. Oh! Oh! No! Ah! Urgh! Fuck! I don't know what to do. So I don't think I alert the second guy until I shoot the camera. This time, we got it. Woo! 1, 2. It's about to go. Wait, will this detect me? Oh! How? Okay. I don't know what's in here. I don't want to open it. Can I unlock it? Oh, kill yourself. Oh, shove it in, bitch. Oh. Can I open this? Why do I have this? Okay. I don't remember how to open that. Oh! I think I can shoot him and then use this. Fuck you. There's so much. Ah! Oh, his money! Give me that! Fuck! I don't have my bag. Dog. Dog. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. I don't know if the camera will pick up my back. What's up, bitch? Where do I use this? I use it. I feel like I used the card at the bank vault downstairs where that surveillance camera is, but if I shoot the surveillance camera, the guard's gonna come and I have to use his phone to deactivate something. But the only thing that's nearby that I can deactivate, I think, is in that room with the other surveillance camera, so I think I'll have to open it, shoot the camera, and then use the phone onto the thing and then tie that guy up. But I don't know, man. Yeah, he is. I don't know if that matters or not. Where does this go? Oh! All right. Oh! Oh. Ah! Kill yourself! Kill yourself! Oh! Fuck! I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't mean to kill him. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh! It's gonna go off. Sorry. Can I barricade them? Oh! God. Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck? Whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. Holy shit! What the fuck? Woo! Dude, I know, right? Holy fuck. Oh, I have no ammo. Why do I have no ammo? Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. How do I deactivate it otherwise? How? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Man, these are not easy. Holy shit. All right. I can't wait. I have no patience. How do you... Is there a how-to? I don't remember. What if I just, like... don't wear my shit when I come in? Ah! Lies, bitch. Whore. You lied to me. Oh, there's 2 duffel bags? Connection timeout to who? It was by myself. Alright. He is racist. Good point. Alright. This is all we need. Watch this. Gimme. How do I unlock it? I wonder if I could shoot their phones. Utility. Wait, where's the utility room? Is it? Actually, hold on. No. I was trying to see if there was a way to disable the phones besides, like, just putting up to the thing. I don't think there is. I potentially have a new strat, so we'll see. Oh! Bitch. Can I have this? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'll use that phone on that. And there's this one right here I might use on the security guy, because I wonder if I'm able to deactivate the cameras that way. Hmm. I feel like if I go downstairs, shoot that other camera, and then I shoot the guy that comes in, I can use the thing on this phone, or the phone on that. Hold on. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I'll try it if I fuck up this time. But I was reading that it doesn't really do anything, so... Oh! What the fuck? 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 Hmm. What did I don't even know what I did wrong. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I would have gotten a notification, but... I don't even know if it's... I don't know. I feel like I have to kill the security guy. Because I feel like he would see me on the camera and kill me. But isn't that where I got the... I don't know. Move! Move! Bitch. How do I disable the alarm? Is that the alarm? I don't know. I think it is because it's highlighted white. I don't... Oh! Maybe I can kill the guy outside and use his key card on that door, maybe. Does this even give relevant information? Like, that's the utility room. Does it look around? Because I thought before it was looking right there, but... Hmm. Oh my god. Fuck you, bitch. Oh! Oh! I meant for that to happen. When does it turn? When? Why? Hmm. Should I just kill that guy? Instead of tying him up? I don't know if that alerts him. Like, do I just get points taken away? Yeah, this this shit sucks. I'm just gonna have to kill the guy. Like, why is it now focused here? True, cash. Cash, baby. Woo! What does this one go to? Hmm. Where'd the other camera go? No idea what the fuck happened, dude. Oh! Wait. Hold on. I got this. Don't worry. I'm gonna end this off. I'm gonna end it off for you. I think I got it. Hold on. Perfect, you rat fuck. I think I just fucked it up. I got nervous. Okay. Yeah, what the fuck? I meant to shoot the camera and then... why is the other camera deactivated? Why was that camera deactivated? But not the other ones. Oh, it is. How? How? How do these get deactivated? Supposed to tell you, you almost had a long time ago when you first got the car from the hostage and then went downstairs and got nervous. Whatever. I don't know how much these are worth. Yo, they got fucking necklaces. Should I get another duffel bag too? Or should I just go with one? God damn, bro. Jesus, dude. Why is there so much? You might need another duffel bag. Yeah. It'll be worth it though, it's okay, I need the money. $36,000 so far. Okay. It's such a fun sound. Bink. Oh, we don't want to lose that. Oh, fuck, but there's a cache. Oh, fuck. Give me that. And that. Yeah, bitch. Okay. 74K. I don't give a fuck about no fucking civilian. All they do is cause me problems. Why would I give a fuck? What level am I? I'm level 3? Come on. Okay, I'm hopping off. I got laundry to put into the dryer real quick, and then I gotta go to bed. Thanks for staying and watching me scream at some retards. Let me actually check real quick. If they're still chatting. I'll probably end up looking into that Tulsi Gabbard stuff.
The hole is already there, and it's just waiting to come in. And if the mother, the way I look at it, I'm pro-life, but but the mother, I see the mother's body as like a country where it has jurisdiction, and it's like if it, you know, and so it has that right to abort that because it can't. The way God made it, my view is that it's a soul. It's wanting to come in.
Okay.
Yes. But some of the evidence will have gone cold and stale. I fear. Listen, I think that if there's a case to bring, like the Georgia case can't be really dismissed. It'll be probably held, you know, state or whatever, or it might be, you know, voluntarily dismissed by the prosecutor. So I can't, you know, who knows? Or maybe there's some doctrine that I don't know. But if there is a case to, you know, to pursue after he's president, 100%. Yeah, they should. 100%. 1 trillion%.
Okay. I'm heading off. I'll see you later. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know if I'll stream. Friday night. Friday night or not, but I might Saturday night. We'll see. I'll try and look into the Tulsi Gabbard and the RFK and